should be a relatively pleasant night, minus a little bit sticky, of course. And then Argyle Eagles versus Mansfield Timberview Wolves in Vernon Newsom Stadium in Mansfield. Temperatures around 90 degrees at kickoff through the upper and middle 80s throughout the evening. The forecast remains the same across all of North Texas. No rain tonight for Friday night football. Temperatures on the warm and muggy side. Enjoy your Friday evening.
Now, not to be dramatic because we're only 3 weeks into the high school football season, but after what North Crowley did last week, pulling off the upset over nationally ranked Desoto, they set up one of the most highly anticipated games for this Friday. The undefeated Panthers, who are now ranked number 3 in the state, host 17th ranked Denton in their home opener. The Wildcats do already have a marquee win, besting 12-time state champs Aledo in week 1. These 2-0 teams will be featured in our game of the week, meaning you can catch all of the action on WFAA Plus for free. Now that does it for sports. We'll be right back after this.
There's more to Cowtown than stockyards and Billy Bob's. 15 miles south, you'll find the number 3 ranked high school football team in Texas. And tonight, the Panthers of North Crowley face another state power in Denton, a matchup considered one of the best in the country. And with that, we welcome you inside the broadcast booth here at Crowley ISD Stadium. I am Jonah Javad alongside Heckma Harrison. And pal, it is great to be on this game because it is not just one of the best in the state, it is one of the best in the entire country. And as we get to see the number 3 and number 17 teams go head to head. The reason North Crowley's up to number 3 had to do with last week, knocking off number 1 ranked Desoto 57-51, an upset that's sent shockwaves throughout the entire state.
And if you talk to Coach Ray Gates, he will have none of it. They are not going to celebrate that victory. They're not going to talk about it for very long. And he said to me, he said, Heckma, they have pulled me away to talk about this every day since. I want to put it to bed. I'm so happy that it's Friday and we get another opponent and get another opportunity to show everyone what we're cooking up here in North Crowley.
Yeah, there's so much that has transpired over the last week for North Crowley. There's been tweets and there have been symbols like traps. We've got all of it. We'll cover all of it here tonight, but a lot of talent on the field as well. So let's get into our players to watch for this evening. We'll start with the visiting side. Denton Geyer, they've got a fantastic defensive line. Head coach Reed Heim says he'll put this defensive line up against anyone else in the entire state. And it's anchored by Xavier Ukponu, a number 1, he is a 3-star Wisconsin commit, a nose tackle, and he's really the anchor of this group.
He's hard to miss, okay? And one of those guys that they definitely rely on in the center of that defense. He is the anchor, a guy that's committed to Wisconsin. And you know, if you're going to go play any type of Big Ten football, you have to be able to work those trenches. And he is another guy that Denton Geyer is going to rely on heavy. They need his presence in the middle today because of that strong running game on the other side from North Crowley. And boy, do they have some weapons down in the trenches.
Yeah, Coach Heim told us this week that he needs Ukponu to be this force inside for them because of what North Crowley can do offensively. And our player to watch, the quarterback for the Panthers, the number 3 team in the state, Chris Jimerson Jr. He is a commit to North Texas, 3-star. That may change by the end of this season, but a dual threat. And as Coach Ray Gates told us this week, sometimes when he needs to take over, it's just called the Jimmy Show.
It is the Jimmy Show. And one of those kids that I firmly believe that if he was 3 inches taller, he would be a household name. He is electrifying, a guy that could take over a game all by himself. But fortunately, he has a bunch of cast of characters with him that can also blow open a football game. Look, Chris Jimerson is just one of those players that comes through the DFW Metroplex that everyone ends up talking about. I don't care if you go back to Byron Eaton at Lincoln. He is that type of player, one that is going to carry this North Crowley program on his back when they need him. But boy, like I said, he has some help on that side.
Funky Town, Goon City, 817. There is a ton of Fort Worth pride in the building tonight. A lot of fans still filing in as the sun starts to cascade here at Crowley ISD Stadium. We're about 5 minutes away from kickoff of this game, and it is going to be heavily scouted by a lot of scouts that are at the stadium here this evening. We got to mention, and this was a player to watch that we considered as well for our spotlight here at the start of our broadcast, receiver Quentin Gibson. He had 3 touchdowns in the opener. He had 4 touchdowns last week against Desoto. He is certainly a guy to watch. Him and Chris Jimerson have certainly got something good going there for the Panthers offense.
Yeah, he is small and mighty, a guy that's 5'9", 165 pounds. Don't let the small size fool you. This guy can get up the field in a hurry. They have so many playmakers, and when we sat down and we talked about who's going to be our player to watch. We could have gone with 5 or 6 different guys. It's not just their offense. They have a pretty sturdy defense as well, and don't miss some of the guys that they have on their offensive line. Boy, do they have some studs.
Well, Heckma, that's the joy of covering Texas high school football. The players to watch, you could go 12 deep for most of these teams. For North Crowley specifically, I mentioned they're up to number 3 in the state. They're also nationally ranked, depending on what site you look at, number 7 for Sports Illustrated, number 13 for Max Preps. That win over DeSoto. Listen, you beat DeSoto, you fly up every chart. You know, you could make a case that they should be 1 in the state right now. But we'll see what they do tonight against a very good Denton Geyer attack that's coming in from the north side of DFW down here to south side of Fort Worth.
Yeah, this is one of those big time games you look forward to. The rankings, you throw those out because here in North Crowley, they understand that they have gone from the hunter to now the hunted. It's not a secret anymore. You can't hide here. Everybody wants to see you, and all the cameras and eyes are going to be on this program. 2
of the top 20 teams in the state for Class 6A going head to head, and it kicks off next on Friday Night Football.
Catch a live broadcast of every play of the biggest high school football games. Next up, Colleyville Heritage at Argyle.
Stream the broadcast free.
September 27th at 7 on WFAA+.
Thanks, Delkus.
Thanks, Delkus.
Possibly the most loved and hated man in North Texas. Whatever the weather brings, we bring the Delkus.
WFAA has a legacy of changing the system.
Most recently, we did a story on ankle monitors and how they don't work, and how criminals are committing crimes with ankle monitors. And yeah, there's legislative change coming.
Our 2-year investigation caught the attention of state representatives. Now, it's a crime to cut off ankle monitors.
I want people to see things that we need to hold people accountable for.
WFAA Sports. To us, it's about so much more than a highlight, wins or losses. It's the heart that makes up the game, the triumph of human spirit, its agony and victory, diehards and day ones. It can divide or unify communities. We give you the stats, but inspire you with the stories, the unpredictable, unforgettable, and incomparable. We bring it to you all because sports lives in all of us.
Discover WFAA Plus, a live 24-hour stream of WFAA news and exclusive digital content, all completely free. Now available on Apple TV, Roku, and Fire TV. Download WFAA Plus today.
Right now in Terrell and in Dallas, your heat index is 107. Everyone in McKinney is dead. It's hot in McKinney. We'll fix that probably.
Possibly the most loved and hated man in North Texas. Whatever the weather brings, we bring the Delkus.
WFAA Sports. To us, it's about so much more than a highlight, wins or losses. It's the heart that makes up the game, the triumph of human spirit, its agony and victory, diehards and day ones. It can divide or unify communities. We give you the stats, but inspire you with the stories, the unpredictable, unforgettable, and incomparable. We bring it to you all because sports lives in all of us.
You need a team you can trust to prepare you for the day.
We are making sure that you have all the information you need.
Looking out for you.
So we do have the heat advisory and the air quality alert in effect for today.
Bold reporting.
Reporting from Plano.
Red flag warning in place.
Dynamic coverage.
Live from Addison.
Original content.
We are staying on top of this story, of course. Be safe out there on the roads. It's going to be a great time.
I am up with Daybreak. What about you?
The 12-yard touchdown.
Catch a live broadcast of every play of the biggest high school football games. Next up, Colleyville Heritage at Argyle.
Stream the broadcast free.
September 27th at 7 on WFAA+.
Thanks, Delkus.
Possibly the most loved and hated man in North Texas. Whatever the weather brings, we bring the Delkus.
WFAA has a legacy of changing the system.
Most recently, we did a story on ankle monitors and how they don't work, and how criminals are committing crimes with ankle monitors. And yeah, there's legislative change coming.
Our 2-year investigation caught the attention of state representatives. Now, it's a crime to cut off ankle monitors.
I want people to see things that we need to hold people accountable for.
WFAA Sports. To us, it's about so much more than a highlight, wins or losses. It's the heart that makes up the game, the triumph of human spirit, its agony and victory, diehards and day ones. It can divide or unify communities. We give you the stats, but inspire you with the stories, the unpredictable, unforgettable, and incomparable. We bring it to you all because sports lives in all of us.
Discover WFAA Plus, a live 24-hour stream of WFAA news and exclusive digital content, all completely free. Now available on Apple TV, Roku, and Fire TV. Download WFAA Plus today.
Right now in Terrell and in Dallas, your heat index is 107. Everyone in McKinney is dead. It's hot in McKinney. We'll fix that probably.
Possibly the most loved and hated man in North Texas. Whatever the weather brings, we bring the Delkus.
You need a team you can trust to prepare you for the day.
We are making sure that you have all the information you need.
Looking out for you.
So we do have the heat advisory and air quality alert in effect for today.
Bold reporting.
Reporting from Plano.
Red flag warning in place.
Dynamic coverage.
Live from Addison.
Original content.
We are staying on top of this story, of course. Be safe out there on the roads. It's going to be a great time.
I am up with Daybreak. What about you?
WFAA Sports. To us, it's about so much more than a highlight, wins or losses. It's the heart that makes up the game. The triumph of human spirit. It's agony and victory, diehards and day ones. It can divide or unify communities. We give you the stats but inspire you with the stories, the unpredictable, unforgettable, and incomparable. We bring it to you all because sports lives in all of us.
Discover WFAA Plus, a live 24-hour stream of WFAA news and exclusive digital content, all completely free. Now available on Apple TV, Roku, and Fire TV. Download WFAA Plus today.
Right now in Terrell and in Dallas, your heat index is 107. Everyone in McKinney is dead. It's hot in McKinney. We'll fix that probably.
Possibly the most loved and hated man in North Texas. Whatever the weather brings, we bring the Delkus.
Welcome back inside Crowley ISD Stadium. Jonah Javad, Heckma Harrison on the call for tonight's game between number 3 ranked North Crowley and number 17 Denton Guyer. Thanks for watching wherever you're watching from on the WFAA Plus app or the WFAA YouTube channel. Your officials tonight: head referee Jimmy Carter, umpire Ray Gaston, head linesman Quincy Johnson, line judge Anthony Armour, field judge Peter Vaccaro, back judge Barry Carter, and side judge Reese Tarver. North Crowley won the toss. The Panthers elected to receive, and Heckma will get to see this high-octane offense start with the ball here tonight.
Hey, when you win the coin toss and you elect to take the ball instead of defer, that means, man, you want to start fast, you want to get a lead, and you don't want to play from behind. And I understand Coach Ray Gates. He wants to get right to it after his offense was so explosive last week. Look, he's excited to put this train back on the tracks.
Crowley back to receive around the 25-yard line. Short kick.
Fair catch by number 6.
Quentin Gibson with the fair catch. And here comes Chris Jimerson Jr., the 3-star recruit committed to the University of North Texas, and he runs the show for this Panthers offense, a veteran starter for the group, and a electric dual threat player under center, excuse me.
Yeah, I got my eyes on number 1, Cornelius Warren. He is one of those guys that can go to A to Z very fast, and he is a guy that this Denton Guyer defense has to keep track of. I mean, you got enough problems to worry about with Chris Jimerson.
Panthers start from the 26, and first play is a completion to Quentin Gibson, and he is out of bounds, but a first down for North Crowley. And I've got a feeling we're going to hear that name quite a bit tonight because his name was called quite a bit the last 2 weeks. As you take a look at the starters for the Panthers offense, first down from their own 40-yard line. And here's Jimerson on the ground. Gets some blocking out in front. Nice gain for the QB.
And Caden Cobbs, he looked like he had him dead to rights, and that's just showing you the explosiveness and the elusiveness from North Crowley's offense and Chris Jimerson.
Taking a look at the defense for Denton Geyer. I mentioned earlier at the top of our broadcast, the defensive line is fantastic, a bunch of studs. They are down one starter tonight, Matt DeSantis, one of their defensive linemen. He is out tonight with an injury. Gavin Briggs starting in place of him. Jimerson clears it out. Another quick pass to Quentin Gibson, and Gibson's got plenty of room to go. Gibson dragged down. And there comes the first flag of the ball game as Quentin Gibson electrifying the crowd here in Crowley.
And that was set up so beautifully. As we wait on this call, I believe it is a horse collar, but look at the way that he sets up this his blockers. Quentin Gibson, he has massive humanity out in front of him blocking, and man, so happy that he was able to get his legs out from under him. As you see right here, his guard and his tackle is getting out. Man, that is creating an HOV lane.
Yep, half the distance, and North Crowley will be extra close to the end zone now. HOV lane.
HOV.
You know, when I was a kid, I thought the HOV lane was.
That was Hove?
I thought
you thought that was Hove?
I thought it was Jay-Z.
You thought Hove had his own lane?
Jay-Z had his own lane.
I
don't want to tell you how long I believed that, but.
Hey, and every time you got on it, you threw up the diamond.
That's right. Threw up the diamond, the rock's in the house. All right, we've got first down and goal for North Crowley. First possession of the game for the Panthers. Ball at the 7-yard line. And there's a handoff to one of their electrifying running backs, Cornelius Warren with the give.
And like, how do you stop this guy? You see him in the hole. Number 3, Matt Smeckel, he has him. He has him. I mean, as a linebacker, I mean, he's just stopped and paused. And that little hesitation was enough for him to sidestep him and still step through for a gain. They're down in the red zone, and then every time Crowley gets down there, they usually come away with scores because we had questions on the kicker. We'll talk about that in just a second.
Oh, gosh. Put me on the spot like that. I got 3 wide, receiver in motion, and give it back to Warren. And he's wrapped up. Looks like big Xavier Ukponu in on that tackle.
Yeah, we talked about Ukponu, and that's the job that he has to do. Create a pile down there in the middle and make life difficult for this offensive line that likes to move people around.
I mean, it is, listen, if
Face mask, number 41 of the defense, half the distance in the first down. Number 1 can stay in the game as his helmet came off as a result of the foul.
If you heard head referee Jimmy Carter there, face mask, so
I mean, look, man, the referees, this call is going to be presidential if Jimmy Carter's down there.
Gosh.
I couldn't wait to use that.
You were just sitting on that one. All right, here's Chris Jimerson Jr. First and goal from the 2. Oh, and that's a handoff to Gibson. Gibson's got the corner, and he's got 6. Quentin Gibson with a touchdown for North Crowley. I had to pause there because they were a little late with the hand signals. But there you go. You got Quentin Gibson, not only a threat in the receiving game, but explosive with just his 2 feet as well.
Yeah, Caden Cobbs, God bless him. He's trying to not allow him to get to the outside, but that is very hard to not allow him to catch the edge with the speed that Gibson has. Hey, look at that, Jonah, kicker.
Should we get? We'll wait. We can dive into that whole saga later on. Let's see how the game transpires.
To everyone listening, I'm teasing Jonah right now.
But you're also, you're teasing the audience. They're like, what is Heckma talking about with the kicker? We're teasing. We're doing the deep tease here. Okay. 7-0 ball game. North Crowley scores on its opening possession. That was the Quentin Gibson show, really from start to finish. A couple of quick screen passes. He moved that ball deep into Geyer territory and then finishes with the touchdown. And listen, if you're head coach Ray Gates for North Crowley, you've been preaching to your guys all week. We've got to start fast and kind of get back into that game mindset, because they've just been hearing compliments all week after what happened against Desoto.
Yeah, he got sick of the flowers. He was done with the flowers. He's like, look, guys, we got to get out here and get it done. And I told you that from the moment that they received that coin toss, that the mentality was to go down here and score. They want to play with the lead. They want to let this defense just get out here and hunt. And look, it's working to perfection so far. Denton Guyer early in the first quarter, now having the answer on their first possession.
Panthers will kick it away. A nice tackle on the return.
Yeah, Martins looked like he had an alley, but it was closed down pretty quickly on the other side. That's number 24 breaking through and getting a tackle.
All right, and here comes the Guyer offense led by quarterback Kevin Sperry. An interesting story for Kevin Sperry, transferred from a school in Oklahoma, but was at Prosper Rock Hill the year before that. So he's back in North Texas and playing QB1 for the Denton Guyer Wildcats, the number 17 ranked team in the state. Down 7-0. And here on first down and 10, Sperry will scramble and swarmed after a gain of a few. You know, I was down on the field earlier, and Sperry is a lot bigger than your average high school quarterback. He is not he's not skinny or slender by any means. He looks like he could survive a few sacks tonight, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, 6'1", 205, big body. You see it in that build and those legs. Guy that's not missing leg day. But also, man, he's going to have to figure out a way to make some of those short throws that he saw on the other side from Chris Jimerson.
They're the gift of Sterling Schneider, the starting running back for Denton Guyer, and taken down just a yard shy of the first down.
I couldn't wait to get in here and see number 4, Snyder. Sterling Snyder the last game had 22 carries for 219 yards. Talk about putting in work versus Martin last week. They relied on him heavily.
They're down and about 4. He's got 9 minutes and 15 seconds on the game clock. 9 minutes and 15 seconds. We had to stop with their helmet coming on.
Third down and 2 for the Wildcats. And against this North Crowley offense, I mean, points, you got to score points. I don't think this will be a low-scoring game by any means.
No, you can't trade field goals with these guys. And how about this?
Sperry! Wow, those were some hard-earned yards for the first down.
Jonah, you called it. You said, man, he's a guy that could take a few collisions.
I mean, yeah.
And you see it right there. He's getting out on the outside. He knows exactly where the sticks is, and he is going to get a first down. You cannot just punt this ball away. That's a great pickup of a first down right there, keeping the chains moving.
This time the handoff and another gang tackle by the Panthers and a flag.
Oh, come on. Like, they're going to say, look, it's a tackle after the whistle blew, but that's just Jabril Ashbury.
And if you're Coach Ray Gates, that's the last thing you want to see, is just gifting yards and first downs to Guyer after that great start. So,
yeah, 15 yards. You give them another first down, and Ashbury goes off to the sideline. And he's a senior, one of the leaders that when we talked with Coach Gates, he was just glowing about Jabril Ashbury, his character, who he is on and off the field. That's a bad penalty on the other side for Crowley.
Oh, and a big run. Caden Cobbs
Boy, look at this run from Cobbs. Low center of gravity. He is literally running through those arm tackles. Not one of those guys that you want to just come up there and try and just, touch him. You got to get this guy. You got to lower his shoulder and get him on the ground.
Nice run by Cobbs. Oh, and big hit there. And the ball is ruled incomplete. It was Asbury flying in, drilling Kevin Sperry.
Ooh, you talk about a little payback from Agent Zero Asbury. It's like you made me go to the sideline, take a fussing from my coach, and I come back scraping off the edge. This linebacker core is really good, Jonah. Look at watch for number 2. Jonathan Cunningham is the Texas commit. He's 6'3". They have him listed at 185 pounds. He's a lot bigger than that, than 185. But these guys fly around.
Yeah, the weights that we have are probably not accurate to what they are in season, right? Guys start to add a little bit of weight. Some laundry on the field. False start for Geyer. So it'll be 2nd down and 15.
And these are the things that Denton Geyer cannot do against an opponent like the North Crowley. The Panthers will make you pay and making life difficult for yourself with a 2nd and 15. It's not going to bode well for you. And I see right now that the attention to detail is all in the running game. And so they're going to have to take their shots here pretty soon. And when you start getting behind the chains, it's definitely going to be necessary.
Sperry, the handoff to Cobbs. Gain of a few. Caden Cobbs is a 3-star recruit and a 2-way player. You see him play running back and also a linebacker for Denton Geyer.
He's a big old kid. His brother played here as well. And
Kadrick, right?
Yeah, his brother was amazing. Smaller guy, but huge. The way he ran, I mean, he was just like the truck stick waiting to happen. He was running over defenders.
Caden Cobb's just a junior, so still another year left at Geyer. 3rd and long for the Wildcats. Play fake. Sperry looking deep. He's got a man, and it's caught. Touchdown, Geyer. Mason White with the catch in the end zone, and that was a dot from Kevin Sperry.
It's just a go ball and a great release from Mason White. They have press coverage on the outside. Fulbright is at the line of scrimmage right over his nose. The inside release and the ball dropped in the bucket from Kevin Sperry. That's the way that you answer and you score on your opening drive. I'm loving that from Denton Geyer.
Ford Stinson on for the extra point. It's up and good, and we've got a tie ball game here at Crowley ISD Stadium. We'll step aside for a short break and be right back.
WFAA has a legacy of changing the system.
Most recently, we did a story on ankle monitors and how they don't work, and how criminals are committing crimes with ankle monitors. And yeah, there's legislative change coming.
Our 2-year investigation caught the attention of state representatives. Now, it's a crime to cut off ankle monitors.
I want people to see things that we need to hold people accountable for.
Right now in Terrell and in Dallas, your heat index is 107. Everyone in McKinney is dead.
Well, that was a emphatic answer from the Denton Geyer Wildcats. Beautiful ball from Kevin Sperry to Mason White, and we got ourselves a tie ball game.
Yeah, even in an obvious passing down was no problem from Kevin Sperry, the guy that came over from Oklahoma, and showing that he has an arm, not just a running ability and ability to catch the edge, as you saw him pick up a first down that his team needed.
So kick out of bounds, and that will give the Panthers good field position for their second possession of the game. Their first one ended with a 2-yard rushing touchdown from wide receiver Quentin Gibson. Gibson also had 2 catches for 54 yards on that opening drive, and off to a great start after he had 7 catches and 4 touchdowns last week against Desoto. This time they go to the ground, and it is a first down for North Crowley. That's the other star running back for NC, Daniel Bray.
I mean, these are twins out here. And I'm sure that when they talk to each other, they say, "What's up, twin?" Because they look just alike when they run. 5'11", 165, and the other guy's 5'9", 170 pounds. Free play.
Free play here. Jimerson going deep. So give North Crowley 5 yards there. And head coach for Denton, Geyer Riedheim, not pleased with that because this defensive line is something that he's quite proud of. Doesn't want to see them falling across the line of scrimmage.
Well, Coach Heim knows that this team is going to go as this defensive line goes. They're going to have to get some quality stops. So many teams are going to try and run the ball against them. And up front, you depend heavily on Xavier Pono. And you see right now, man, he's giving them some problems up front. The senior John Delgado has his hands full.
So first down and 5. Another carry for Bray.
Oh man, oh man! If you love it, if you love trench warfare, just look at this matchup down low. These guys are cutting these Geyer defenders down, double teaming inside. You saw right there, Xavier Upono. They were double teaming him, chip blocking him, and Greer, Daywood Greer, 6'3", 275, was the catalyst to getting him blocked.
It really is a fantastic game along the lines in terms of just how these players match up. Jimerson looking to escape pressure, and he does! And that falls incomplete, and there comes the flag. It looked like Jimerson was just a couple of inches.
From our vantage point, we're looking right down at that line. Obviously, it's not like the TV copy where in the NFL you get the imaginary blue line. But still looked like he was right on it.
There, you wonder why not. You need 1 yard. Yeah. Pick it up and slide.
And look at this escapability right here.
You need 1 yard. Just sit down and you got a first down.
Yeah, he's keeping his eyes up the field, and that's, I think if you're Chris Jimerson Jr., not that he feels like he has anything to prove, but he just wants to show, man, I am that guy, and I can definitely keep my eyes up the field and make plays as a quarterback. He's thinking ahead, want to be one of those guys that give your receivers an opportunity to win.
Totally right, because anytime anyone sees a quarterback who is athletic and can escape and run, they worry about his throwing ability too, and they'll question that. Here on 3rd down and 6. Carry to the outside, another carry for Daniel Bray, and he's appears to be just shy of the first down. We'll see if Ray Gates elects to go for it or not.
And this is exactly what Ray Gates does. He overloads, brings in an extra offensive lineman. This is fourth and 1. Big time gamble. This would be a big time stop.
I wonder if you try to go on the left side where your 2 of your big time stars are.
I think that's where they're going.
They go right up the middle. And it looks like he's stopped.
Oh, I love that.
Cornelius Warren. He was so close, and the Denton Geyer defense comes up big. A turnover on down.
Look at these guys in the middle. Jalen Sterling, and they are having a party at the running back. That's a great job up front. Xavier Pono, man, worth the price of admission, because you see him inside causing that big old pile and not allowing those running backs to escape out the back door.
Yeah, Geyer coach Riedheim told us that that Ukponu's going to be a nose guard for Wisconsin, and he'll be, quote, a dude for them, but he needs to be, quote, a dude for them this year, and especially tonight against this Panthers offense. Big play there from the Geyer defense, sets up the offense. Here's Kevin Sperry on 1st and 10. Reverse and lots of room, and if the blocks held, it could have been a big play. DJ Reese had room to roam.
He did, and they were
But
setting it
to
up.
the defense there,
setting it up perfect. And number 77, Byers, is running downhill, but man, he runs right around his block. If you pick up that block, that gives that reverse a lot more success. But even still, that's a good job getting his defense out to making them run.
4 wide for Geyer. Caden Cobbs in the backfield. Another play fake. This time quick pass. Daniel Tong with the grab.
No, I love this offense and the way that they're attacking right now. Again, it's you make this defense, make these guys get on their horses and run. You know that you got plenty of athletes out there. They did that in that first drive. They were running those short little runs in between the tackles, making everybody kind of gather inside. Even though they were bringing those blitzes on the outside, they found a way to hit them over the top.
So it's 3rd and short. And a timeout called by Geyer. Well, it was the story of the week, Heckma. It had the whole state buzzing. North Crowley upsetting number 1 ranked Desoto last Friday night at Desoto. Quentin Gibson had 4 touchdowns as North Crowley ran for 380 yards en route to a 57-51 victory over back-to-back state champions, the Eagles. Incredible victory. More incredible was that there was 1,100 yards of combined offense. And, hold on, there's more. 29 combined penalties, including 17 on DeSoto for 163 yards. But that win by North Crowley, they were already on the map, but that sent a message to the rest of the teams in the state that we're here and we're contending. We're not just going to roll over this season.
No, not going to happen.
Not that anyone expected that in the first place. Here, 3rd and short for Geyer, and it's complete. And close to the sticks. Jackson Shockley, the tight end.
I like it. Jackson Shockley looking like Jeremy Shockley on that catch. Man, that's what you need. You need those possession receptions, the things that move the chains. It's a great throw and catch.
Nowhere to go for Caden Cobbs there. Jackson Shockley, the tight end. Coach Heim was telling us this week that he is one of their most consistent players, and when you need a grab, you need something like a first down on 3rd and 3, that he's their go-to guy. He was there as it moves the chains.
Yeah, big old dude, 6'3", 215, and I like my chances with Shockley one-on-one with a linebacker because of the height. Man, that is a mismatch, and good job by Kevin Sperry finding his tight end again to move the chains.
Yeah, this is a good battle between offensive coordinator Blake Joseph of Geyer and DeMarcus Harris, the defensive coordinator for North Crowley. That pass sails incomplete. Sperry looking for Mason White. Those two linked up handful of minutes ago for a touchdown that tied the game. And it brings up another 3rd down for the Wildcats.
Some pressure right there on Sperry. You see him throwing off of his back foot, not able to set and release because of the pressure that was in his lap.
Sperry going deep again. He's looking for Mason White. Oh, and that one just falls incomplete. He had a chance.
Oh, man.
He had a chance.
He did, and Mason White within look at this pass. And the one thing about it is it's a little late, okay? If he puts more air on that ball earlier, Mason White is able to run up under. He had to wait on that pass. And, I want to give kudos to the protection, though, up front, because they gave Sperry plenty of time to get that one off.
So the Wildcats will line up punt formation. Peyton Jund sends that one into the end zone for a touchback.
Boy, a little bit of a pooch kick on that one, and man, they were trying to pin them at the 1 yard line.
And so back comes the Panthers offense. Turnover on downs on their last possession. This offense is led by Eli Reinhardt, the offensive coordinator, and head coach Ray Gates had nothing but great things to say about him.
I love Reinhardt. He mixes it up really well. They hadn't gotten into their screen game, but Reinhardt really does do a great job of mixing up that pass with the run. But those bubble screens are amazing from this team because they're so fast.
That pass is complete to Jaden Brooks.
Pass number 18, Jaden Brooks, is good for
North Crowley moves the chains. Defensive coordinator for Denton Geyer, that's the head coach.
Yeah.
Reed Heim. Reed Heim was the defensive coordinator for Geyer back in 2020, was promoted to head coach after Rodney Webb left to become athletic director at Highland Park for a year, and Heim assumed the head role, and that's where he's been. This is year 3 for Reed Heim. It's also year 3 for North Crowley head coach Ray Gates.
Yeah, and I tell you what, Heim was not going to give up those DC responsibilities. That is what his love is. And he feels like, man, if he can inject it into this defense, they are going to be awesome.
So take a look at your screen here. This is a tweet from last Friday night from North Crowley head coach Ray Gates. It's a photo of Buster Douglas knocking out Mike Tyson. He posted this, and you can see the location stamp from DeSoto, Texas. The whole analogy here is that North Crowley's Buster Douglas, DeSoto was Mike Tyson.
Yeah, he hadn't even got on the bus and left the stadium yet. And
we got to fire this off. Yeah. Underdogs.
Yeah, underdogs. And I think after he sent that tweet out, he went home and he said, you know what, the next fight for Buster Douglas didn't go too well. So, hey, we got to get something else going on.
We'll switch it up. We'll switch it up for week 3. 1st and 10 for the Panthers. Give to Cornelius Warren. He cuts it up for a few. But that was a big talking point in our conversation with Ray Gates earlier this week, is that trying to get through to these kids that you can be proud of that victory, but it is just a small piece to the entire puzzle. You know, you don't win a championship in week 2 against DeSoto. You've got to be able to do it at AT&T Stadium.
Yeah, I was laughing with him down on the field. I was like, man, you were downright grumpy with us when we talked to you.
Oh, that was nearly a dangerous throw, but it was complete.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to go back to the replay on this because it looked like a dangerous throw, but he dropped it.
Pick 6, but that was perfect.
He drops it in a bucket for Cam Hunter.
Those are some of the hardest throws for a quarterback to make. Those
Absolutely.
out routes on a dot like that.
There are pro quarterbacks that struggle with that throw.
Great ball by Jimerson. Empty backfield. Jimmy's going to take a shot. It's Cornelius Warren, the running back. Reels it in and into Geyer territory.
And so nice he had to catch it twice. Look at this bobble here, and he comes down with it. Cornelius Warren, the speedster, the burner, and a guy that also, it's like this embarrassment of riches when you have a player like that can go out into the slot
and catch, right?
And catch, and he's just a matchup nightmare for defenses.
He had 152 rushing yards last week and 3 touchdowns against DeSoto, and now you see him running that out of the slot roll. Talent. And here's another talent, Daniel Bray.
Oh. And taking him down, taking the man's legs out is Jonah Shammy.
Geyer head coach Reed Heim called both of these running backs for North Crowley, Daniel Bray and Cornelius Warren, quote, violent runners, and he expects them to be really good college running backs as well, just the way they run, and I guess the way that they see the field and hit their lanes. Bray in the backfield. 3 wide to the right. And the give is to Bray, and he's nearly wrapped up by Zane Rowe. And then finally swarming in is Kyron Haywood to make the tackle in the backfield.
It's so dangerous sometimes when a guy like that so fast switches direction. Your pursuit is going downhill a different direction. Man, that's a great job by those guys on the backside on the defense, staying disciplined and not allowing them to catch the edge.
Zane Rowe blew the play up, and then Kyron Haywood came in to make the tackle. It is the end of one quarter here at Crowley ISD Stadium, and it's a great game so far. 7-7. We'll step aside for a quick break and be right back.
Next up, Colleyville Heritage at Argyle.
Stream the broadcast free.
September 27th at 7 on WFAA+.
Thanks, Delkus.
Thanks, Delkus.
Possibly the most loved and hated man in North Texas. Whatever the weather brings, we bring the Delkus.
Shout out to North Crowley. Huge win. Obviously, you know, they came a long way from when I was there, but I got to kind of see it last year in playoffs, just how hard those kids work, how hard they play for one another, and, you know, the pride they take in our city. So that's huge.
That was Cowboys offensive lineman Tyler Smith, who is an alum of North Crowley High School. Got a chance to chat with him yesterday at the Cowboys facility, and he is super proud of his Panthers and what they've done over these last few years, especially under head coach Ray Gates. Here we go, 3rd and 15. Jimerson, short pass, and it's incomplete off the hands of Daniel Bray.
Yeah, Daniel Bray out in the flat, trying to make an adjustment, ball kind of behind him, not able to bring that ball in. But that just shows you, again, you talk about how violent these guys are as runners, but then that's the caveat to the talent that they have. They're also pretty good wide receivers.
So 4th down, 15. And the Panthers offense will stay on the field. Jimerson back to throw. He's got time in the pocket. Still looking, and he's got someone open. Complete. Brooks. Touchdown. Panthers. Jaden Brooks breaks away from his defender, and Jimerson puts it on him for 6.
This is one of those throws for the highlight reel if you're Chris Jimerson Jr. Look at him looking down the field. You were talking about just a second ago, hey, man, just go ahead and get the yards that you can. He puts it on Brooks, and the only place where he can get it and allow his wide receiver to get into the end zone.
It did look like he had a receiver coming open across the middle of the top of your screen, goes through his reads. But this is what is so key about having a player who can use his legs.
Yeah.
It extends the play.
No,
and if you're in tune with your receivers, that's something like that happens where Brooks starts moving upfield, finds the gap, and boom, touchdown.
Oh, you're terrified of him. One, you look at his running ability, and you're like, the defense, and none of these guys are rushing him. You saw there, Jonah, they're staying in their lanes. They're trying to compact this guy, corral him, but then the next thing you know, he makes this athletic throw to one of his wide receivers. Man, that's just awesome, and then just showing you the kind of talent that Chris Jimerson Jr. has. And today is his dad's birthday.
Oh, shout out to Chris Jimerson Sr. Happy birthday, Pops.
And I only know that because they told
Yeah,
everybody.
that's right.
That is really the only reason why I figured that one out. But stay tuned for the Friday Night Football halftime show, sponsored by Golden Chick. Golden Chick is the perfect post-game destination. Come in and see why. We say it's one taste and you're golden at Golden Chick.
14-7, the score here at Crowley ISD Stadium. I am Jonah Javad, Heckma Harrison alongside the pride of Lincoln High School.
You better believe it.
And K-State.
Better believe it.
I'm the pride of Mizzou.
I learn something about you every time we hook up here, and I'm my questions got questions.
How does a guy from Massachusetts end up at Missouri? Yeah, I've gotten it a lot. Ball away. It is fielded by DJ Reese, and Reese has got a seam. DJ Reese beats the kicker. He's down the sideline and out of bounds. There is a flag back at the 30-yard line.
Oh, God, that is – first of all, I yelled, ooh. And I just want to take that back because I saw that hole open up, and Reese, man, he's trying to dance to the end. So.
I feel so bad for kickers who have to stop a return man.
Oh.
And of course, it's coming back.
No. Oh, man. We got the sound effects.
Yeah, whoever's running the stadium sound effects here at Crowley ISD is killing the game.
Yeah, I love it.
Denton Geyer went 7-4 a season ago. It was their worst finish since 2018. We talked to head coach Reed Heim during the week. He said, you know, what made the difference between that team and the team before that went to the state championship and lost to Desoto, they just weren't as close last year. And so over the course of this offseason, they did a bunch of team bonding, things to really love on each other, believe in each other, and hopes that those bonds fortify and show up on the field. And so far, they're 2-0 on the season, ranked 17th in the state. First down for the Wildcats, and Sterling Schneider gets a couple.
And I think that's very important. You know, Reed Heim, Coach Heim has his hand on the pulse of his team, and those team bonding exercises are great for moments just like this. You know, guys don't get rattled when they're down by 7. They're just going to continue to chip away at this lead and continue to play Wildcat football.
And he told us that this team is much closer than the one last year. Victories to start the year. They beat Aledo, beat Arlington Martin last week. But as he said, they're not going to face, you know, this is as good a team they'll face all season. The number 3 ranked North Crowley Panthers, nationally ranked as well after what they did to DeSoto last week. But yeah, I mean, this is 2 of the top 17 teams in Class 6A in the state of Texas. The talent on this field is immense. 3rd and 7 for Kevin Sperry. That pass is too high for DJ Reese. Nearly intercepted.
Oh, that was near disaster. It was tipped at the line of scrimmage. Didn't see the number there, but they tipped it at the line of scrimmage, and that's what altered Sperry's throw. Lucky to get that one back if you're a Denton Geyer fan, because that one could have been taken to the house.
And so 3 and out for Denton Geyer after North Crowley takes the lead 14-7, and the Panthers will get the ball once again with fantastic field position as the Wildcats forced to punt deep in their own end. And here they go. Quentin Gibson on the return, and he gets swarmed at the 40. Helmet came off.
And Quentin Gibson, he's just so sudden, as you see him right there holding on to the ball, switching as it gets to the sideline, but he is moving through traffic. A good job there for Denton Geyer to continue to pursue, but another penalty out here.
So an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on Jabril Asbury, who you recall had another penalty in the first quarter. So that's his second one of the game, and not something you normally see from your middle linebacker who's a senior.
And one of those players that Coach Gates raved about him and his leadership. So that's one of those things, man. You got to sit your senior leader down, talk to him, and let him know, man, we can't have this. Those two penalties, they're costing him. And being up by 7 against the Denton Geyer squad that's giving you all you can handle right now. Defensively on the other side for Denton Geyer, they need to get a stop right now. Don't let this North Crowley offense get moving, get into any kind of rhythm, because when they do that, that's when they get you in the fun house and you start seeing all kinds of stuff. They just really have too many weapons.
Yeah, and that's something that kind of was talked about from both coaches this week, and Ray Gates alluded to it as, it's hard to stop us when we've got a dual threat quarterback, 2 running backs who, are interchangeable, and then you've got Quentin Gibson, who's just jumped on the scene and might be one of the top 10 receivers in the entire state by the time the season is over.
The other thing, Jonah, that I want to point out is if you watch these wide receivers, they block so well. These guys are going up, getting to the second level, not only beating their guy, but also looking for someone else to block. You can tell they practice that, and those little bubble screens, those quick passes to the outside, they're operating as offensive linemen, because in college you do these 2-on-2 or 3-on-3 drills, and you see if a guy can catch a crease and get loose.
Third down, empty backfield for Chris Jimerson Jr. Drops, throws, and incomplete. He was looking for Quentin Gibson.
Jimerson's pass intended for number 6 falls incomplete. Bring up 4th down.
They are doing everything they can. Geyer has a spy in on Jimerson, and they're just hanging out, just making sure that he doesn't leave the pocket. We hadn't seen much of it from Jimerson here in the first half, but man, his feet are lethal.
They're going to go for it again. 4th and 6. Jimerson spins out of pressure. He's got 4 guys attacking him, and pass is caught by Gibson. Gibson breaks a tackle. Gibson's got 6. It's 6 for 6. Quentin Gibson with the touchdown.
This play just pretty much tells the whole story. Look at him roll out, going to his left and throw. Come on now. That's pretty right there. That is beautiful stuff.
Jimerson sensing the pressure before it even got to him. He spun so early, bought him some extra time, and then Gibson just flying wide open, breaks the tackle. It's the tackle breaking that's impressive, because he's not the biggest kid.
No, he's not.
And that's his 2nd touchdown of the night. Quentin Gibson, a name that we were told all week that by the end of the season, every school's going to know about him. And that couldn't be more true through 3 weeks of the season. He had 7 receptions in week 1. He had 7 receptions last week. He has 7 total touchdowns through 2 weeks. He's got 9 now on the season. 9 total touchdowns through 3 weeks in Class 6A in the state of Texas.
No, he is incredible.
And you know what's crazy? He's got no stars on all the recruiting sites, and he's not committed to any big D1 school, and he's a senior. But we're talking to Ray Gates, that's probably changing pretty soon.
Yeah, as the film starts to come in and colleges get a load of this guy, Quentin Gibson, and see how elusive he is, his speed off the line of scrimmage. And the thing about it is, most of the time when you see Quentin Gibson's highlights, he's running by himself. The separation is just wild from this kid, man. And again, I don't know the person that hands out the stars and gives these kids the attention that they deserve. But, man, Quentin Gibson is a guy that, like I said, he is definitely closing in on a great season and definitely raising some eyebrows around the DFW Metroplex.
Yeah, Ray Gates said we get a front row seat to the Quentin Gibson show every day in practice, and we're getting a great view of it here. He's got a rushing touchdown and a receiving touchdown as the Panthers lead 21-7 on the number 17 ranked Denton Guyer Wildcats. That ball is fielded and not much doing there on the return.
A bit of a scrum, to say the least. And
another note about Quentin Gibson. We're talking about how he's no stars, not committed anywhere. Since beating Desoto last week and having 4 touchdowns in that game, Ray Gates said he got, there's been an offer from Texas State. Nevada offered this past week, and Gates was on the phone with TCU regarding interest in Quentin Gibson as well. And so clearly, as you said, big D1 schools are starting to hear about this kid as North Crowley has climbed the state rankings just through 2.5 weeks of the season.
Yeah, don't be late. You better, and maybe you're already too late, but you better get in on it.
If you're Gibson at this point, you keep putting up the tape. You keep putting the tape on that you are showing. I mean, he's going to have a lot of great options by the end of the year, and that's really what a lot of this is all about, is just, giving kids an opportunity to go play at the next level and, keep playing. Sperry. Telling you, he's a load man.
You have to tell me, I'm looking at it. He's running through those arm tackles.
Again, why not? Picks up the first down.
Yeah, and that's what you got to have. Right now, if you're Guyer, you're like, look, we got 9 minutes to have. Let's get something going. Let's get something going on offense. Let's get a score. Let this offense for North Crowley sit over there on the sidelines and take a break. I mean, sometimes your best offense is the best defense. Making these guys take a half off or 9 minutes of the quarter off, because they are burning hot right now.
Yeah, 3 and outs against North Crowley. It does not help out your defense at all. That ball incomplete, but flags fly.
Yeah, they got tangled up down there and they caught him. I don't blame him battling for it, because it was going back and forth between the receiver and the DB.
Pass interference called on cornerback Thomas Cook of North Crowley. Moves the chains for Denton Guyer. So their quarterback, Kevin Sperry, number 9, he's a 3-star recruit, committed to the Oklahoma Sooners. Heckma.
Yeah, they know. Denton Guyer knows a little thing or two about the pipeline to Oklahoma. They had a Jackson Arnold up there right now. Baller. Here at Denton Guyer.
Yeah, and he's now the starting QB for
Yes,
OU.
sir. Indeed. He is such an athlete, and one of those guys that's just a leader and baller associated with him, man.
Sperry, defense snuffs that one out quick.
Hey, you saw. They said, look, how many times are we going to see you fake this dive inside and take it around the edge? We are going to stop you. I know you're getting used to picking up 3 yards here and there, but we're going to put you guys in a situation where you have to unload it and throw this ball in order to get any plus yardage on us.
Sperry spent his sophomore year at Prosper Rock Hill. Transferred to an Oklahoma school, Midwest City Carl Albert. Won the state championship there as a junior in 5A, and then transferred to Guyer for his final year of high school football. And he's leading the Wildcats, who are 2-0 on the season, ranked 17th in the state for Class 6A. And right now, they're trailing the North Crowley Panthers by 14, the number 3 ranked team in the state, looking strong early on. We'll be right back.
WFAA Sports. To us, it's about so much more than a highlight, wins or losses. It's the heart that makes up the game. The triumph of human spirit. It's agony and victory. Diehards and day ones. It can divide or unify communities. We give you the stats, but inspire you with the stories. The unpredictable, unforgettable, and incomparable. We bring it to you all because sports lives in all of us.
You need a team you can trust to prepare you for the day.
We are making sure that you have all the information you need.
Looking out for you.
So we do have the heat advisory and air quality alert in effect for today.
Bold reporting.
Reporting from Plano.
Red flag warning in place.
Dynamic coverage.
Live from Addison.
Original content.
We are staying on top of this story, of course. Be safe out there on the roads. It's going to be a great time.
I am up with Daybreak. What about you?
Stay tuned for the Friday Night Football halftime show, sponsored by Golden Chick. Golden Chick is the perfect post-game destination. Come in and see why we say it's one taste and you're golden at Golden Chick.
Back to the action. That ball's thrown away. Ruled a fumble and recovered. North Crowley has it as the Panthers come up with their first takeaway of the ball game. Kevin Sperry was under pressure, about to go down. Not sure what he was trying to do with the football.
Oh, that
loses control.
Man, that is a mistake by Kevin Sperry. And one of those, you just cannot give this type of momentum to this North Crowley team that's looking to deliver a knockout blow right now. They're up by 14. Just putting your defense further in a hole. Getting a stop here would be big for Geyer.
Yeah, you could wonder what would happen if not. It's already a 14-point lead for the Panthers, and when they have the lead, it's like their powers multiply. Look at it's wide open. It's wide open, and it's a touchdown. Chris Jimerson Jr. delivers to Jeremy Cooper for another North Crowley touchdown. I mean, when you're up by 14 points, Heckma, and you've got the ball in plus territory, you can take some shots like that.
And completely fooled the Geyer defense. They're looking around, trying to figure out where the ball is going, and you could tell, man, they are so intimidated by the speed on the other side that these guys are just trying to track and make sure that they don't allow these runners to get around the edge. But that is a great play design and a great pass to Cooper, and the sophomore clocks in for the touchdown.
And this one is getting a bit out of hand at Crowley ISD Stadium. It is the first home game of the season for the North Crowley Panthers, and if there was any thought that they might have a letdown after beating Desoto last week, the scoreboard seems to indicate otherwise.
Yeah, no, there's not going to be any letdown, and I think that's what Coach Ray Gates was warning his team about. Don't come out and be lackadaisical. Don't give this Denton Geyer team an excuse to get up and give you a dogfight. Come right in. Right from the moment you win that coin toss, we're going to go down, we're going to score. And that's how coaches talk. They talk very matter-of-factly. We're going to go down, we're going to score, we're going to get a stop on defense, and we're going to score again. And so I think things are working to perfection if you're Ray Gates.
Ray Gates in his third year as head coach of North Crowley, and this is the stat that really just boggles my mind. He has never lost a regular season game as head coach of the Panthers. 22-0. His only losses as head coach of this team have come in the playoffs. And last year's came in the state semifinals to eventual state champion Duncanville.
Yeah, that's incredible. I don't know. You keep a winning record like that during the regular season, but an onside kick.
Onside kick, and they might have it. Ray Gates is sprinting on the field, saying we got it, and the refs believe otherwise.
You think Ray Gates is a little disappointed right there? He runs all the way out to the hash. How did they get that ball back? Boy, there's a lot of fighting at the bottom of that pile, but great job. And there's Ray Gates all the way out on the 50.
Oh, they're really strike while the iron's hot. Already up 21 points and going with the onside kick. Part of that might have to do with their kicking situation. So we mentioned this at the top of the broadcast. If you've been watching this entire time, we'll let you in on this. I asked Ray Gates earlier this week, Coach, so who's your kicker this week? And he just didn't have a name for me. He wasn't sure. He was checking with the soccer team. They weren't really sure what their kicking situation was going to be there. And so that might have influenced some of their decisions tonight, as in not kicking field goals necessarily in points, punting. They're kind of, I don't know. It seems like they've got some questions at kicker and in their special teams area that they're still trying to figure out early in the season.
So, Jonah, are you ready for me to tell the people the truth?
All right, what's up?
Okay, because literally Jonah wouldn't let it go. Coach Gates continued to tell Jonah I'm undecided on my kicker, and Jonah kept asking the same question.
Coach, I just want a name. Can you give me a name? Kevin Sperry on second down picks up a couple.
And they would not let it go. I'm like, Coach, please, just tell him, give him a name.
Just
say anybody.
Coach, make up a name. Just make up a name.
And he would not budge. So after about 4 minutes of going back and forth, and finally we changed the subject. I don't know how that happened, but it got uncomfortable there for a little while.
Oh, no, Ray's great. He's doing a great job with the program, obviously. I don't know how you could do much better. But third down and 5 now for Geyer, and the Wildcats got to do something because 21-point deficit to this team feels like 50. And there's a sack on third down. Here comes that Panthers defense.
And boy, big number 44, Cassie, coming off the edge, unblocked. And it's got to be a breakdown in communication up front. You don't want to leave that guy by himself. And Cassie, just a nightmare back there for Kevin Sperry. 6:24 left here in the second quarter. And Jonah, Crowley's about to get the ball back.
Uh-oh.
So, woof. What looked like it was going to be a low-scoring game for a long time. Finally, this North Crowley offense has opened things up.
You know, I credit Geyer head coach Riedheim telling us, this is as good a team we've played. This is as good a team Geyer's played since Heim took over as head coach in 2022. And we're seeing it. And it's kind of been the talk of town all week. You put up 57 points on Desoto, you could put 57 points up on anybody.
Oh, absolutely. Anybody in the nation. Because
maybe not Duncanville. Maybe Duncanville's defense is a little bit better than Desoto.
Well, look,
maybe. I'm hedging the statement a little bit.
You know what? I like that statement because what I believe that the DeSoto win does for North Crowley is it gives them a heightened confidence in taking down the #1 team in Texas in 6A.
Back to work for North Crowley. Cornelius Warren, a big gain into Geyer territory.
How do you stop that?
It's pick your poison.
How do you stop that? I mean, look at this. Defenders have an angle on him right here. Look at number 18. He has an angle, and Warren outruns Sterling. Has probably got to ask himself, how do I catch this guy? That's different speed right there.
I mean, the threat of 2 running backs with Daniel Bray and Cornelius Warren, so they're always fresh. That, when you're an opposing defense and you've got tired legs in the 3rd and 4th, and these guys have half the tread because they've been subbing in and out, it just adds to how dangerous this Panthers offense is. Warren again on the carry. But these are the moments where it's like, okay, North Crowley, you see why they can win a state championship because they're explosive on offense when the game's tied. They've got the explosive team to come back. But if they have the lead, good night.
Yeah, it's all going to come down to them having a matchup, and they know it's coming. Another matchup against Duncanville. Can they climb that ladder? And I think by getting that victory against DeSoto is giving them the yes we can attitude. And so Again, and Coach Ray Gates, he's setting out the traps on the field. He's sending tweets. He's sending a message to his team just to let these guys know that we beat Desoto, but nobody came out and handed us any medals, and we didn't receive any rings after that victory. What they want is they want to get sized for rings.
Yeah, Gates told us it just let them know that they're on the right track. Like, it was a great win for the program, but it was a week 2 win, and there is district play to go, and then, of course, the playoffs. And, yeah, state championships are certainly not won in September. And there we get a look at Keontae Ingram, who I had a feeling we might see if the game got out of hand. And Gates told us about this young man. He's a sophomore running back. He's third in command behind Cornelius Warren and Daniel Bray, but a stud running back and definitely a name to know in the next 2 years to come, Keontae Ingram. And we'll see if he gets some extra burn in the second half, depending on what the score is.
It's a sophomore behind 2 seniors that I'm sure if you're Keontae Ingram, you're chomping at the bit to get your opportunity. But just to know that you're in the fold and you get into that rotation, that's big time. So much that you can learn from these speedsters in front of you.
North Crowley takes a timeout. And we mentioned it a little bit ago, but I want to show you something from practice earlier this week here at North Crowley. This is a tweet from head coach Ray Gates. Trap game, don't take the bait. He set out an actual raccoon trap on the practice field, and taped to it, you see the paper there on top, don't take the bait, and underneath, you are the best. You beat DeSoto. Everybody is scared of you, and all these different compliments and laurels that the Panthers could, in theory, fall victim to and fall trap to. He says, don't take the bait. He said he loves symbols. That's one way to do it, Ekma.
Yeah, it is. And obviously, he was ecstatic about the victory. I got an opportunity to talk to him down on the field. I'm like, come on, Ray. After you beat DeSoto, you had to have been in a great mood. It's like I was. I loved it. That's everything that we needed, but I can't have these kids harping on it.
Yeah, you got to bring the kids back down to earth, and got to be proud of this performance, because this is really that ultimate trap game, right? You beat DeSoto by that margin. All you hear all week is, you know, how great you are. And then you have to go play a football game against the number 17 ranked team in the state for Class 6A. Denton Guyer's not a bad football team at all. They're a very good team. And to kind of flip that switch and say, all right, focus in, that's really great coaching, to have the team focused and disciplined and ready to go. And they've been lights out so far here through most of the first half, up 3 touchdowns on Guyer, and a defense for Guyer that's going to give a lot of other teams trouble this season.
Really, they are, and they're loaded up front, and they are very disciplined and play sound alignment assignment football. They're just right now up against an opponent that has so much speed and has so many weapons. Just when you think you stop one, they bring somebody off the bench that you may have not even accounted for. And that person scores. I mean, you look at the pass to Cooper. I'm sure he's a guy that they prepared for, but they didn't prepare for Cooper as much as they prepared for Gibson, as Warren, and Bray. And so when Cooper's out there and he runs by you, hey, no problem. Only thing is he's running by himself for a touchdown.
So Chris Jimerson Jr., the 3-star recruit, UNT commit, he's got empty backfield, 5 wide, escapes pressure and rolls, and he's got wheels. Showing him here all the way down inside the 20. I mean, Jimerson has really shown it all tonight.
Here's the fear factor right here. This is what you're really scared of. You know, you get a coverage sack, you think you got him dead to rights, you send a blitz up the middle, and he just jogs out of it. He jogs out of it.
You had the great line earlier. It really is an embarrassment of riches. You got a dual threat quarterback, 2 running backs, a great 3rd running back if you ever need to go to him a stud receiver that everybody's going to know about by the end of the season. I mean, it is just pick your poison with this North Crowley offense. And a first down in the red zone for the Panthers. Cornelius Warren bumped out of bounds. Cornelius Warren is committed to UNLV. He is a senior and a 3-star back as well.
You see these different games in 2 games. 129 yards in his first game, 152 yards in his second game. I got an opportunity to see him versus Lancaster, and this is just a running back that's so dynamic, hit inside, outside, and also get an opportunity to see him at receiver as well.
Here and the give.
And I don't know who the DJ is out here, but I just, man, wherever the tip jar is, I got $1 for him. He's doing it out here. This is a party. It's a great atmosphere, and I love what Crowley Independent School District is doing out of the money that they're putting into the school district as well. This is obviously a fantastic facility.
Yeah, I mean, you got North Crowley and Crowley as well. A couple of great football programs here 15 miles south of Fort Worth. Third down, another give. Bray this time. Bray! Excuse me, Warren. I knew I would get one confused tonight because they are interchangeable.
Twin. I told you, Jonah, look, you can't tell them apart, but one thing is apparent is that speed kills, and these wide receivers, as I told you before, they block so well down the field, and Quentin Gibson, this block on the outside, this is the one that releases him. Good job by Quentin Gibson not lowering the boom and getting a 15-yard penalty right there for a blindside block. That's a high IQ heads-up offense.
That's a great catch, and a receiver that's willing to block and engage like that just further adds to his resume, or what you want to see if you're scouting somebody like Quentin Gibson, which I'm sure a lot of schools are now.
Yeah.
Penalty on the extra point. Penalties decline. Extra point is good. 35-7 the score after Cornelius Warren gets into the end zone for the Panthers, and it is a blowout here at Crowley ISD Stadium. And again, we've said it a few times tonight. Guyer, by no stretch of the imagination, is a bad team.
No.
I think folks are just saying, okay, North Crowley is for real. They really are that good. And we should have known this probably going into the season. They reached the state semifinals last year, and there's no shame in losing to Duncanville. Albeit the way they did in the state semifinals was a bit surprising, but this is a team that's got a ton of talent, well coached, and you add in great play design.
Yeah.
And they fly to the football defensively. I would be stunned, Heckma, if we don't see the North Crowley Panthers at AT&T Stadium in December vying for a state championship.
Well, I want to agree with you on that, Jonah, but Duncanville is still out here, and they are killing dreams on their way to AT&T Stadium.
Yep.
They do it so often. The conversation that I've had with Coach Gates about that matchup, man, he goes into intimate detail about that matchup and says there's so many different things that he would like to have back. All the way from winning the coin toss, the direction that he went, the wind that was blowing that day, all of the details and nuances of coaching that went through his head after that loss. He's like, man, I felt like I blew opportunities that we should have taken advantage of in that game.
First down for the Wildcats. Pass incomplete off the hands of Jackson Shockley.
Jackson Shockley falls incomplete. Second down.
It looked like a clean catch from Shockley, and then the last minute the hit comes in and knocks the ball up and out, but they don't consider that a catch. As we see the replay, that was a boom And Asbury knocks the ball out.
This time on the ground.
Yeah, you want to burn some of that clock. And Sterling Snyder, we talked about him and he having 200 yards. His last game has been tough sledding here today. This defensive front right now is giving this guy all he can handle. Out of Xavier Coleman, DJ Beasley, Derek Gleason, and Nante Cassie. Just doing a wonderful job up front. We've already talked about these linebackers. Avery Dotson, also number 32, is out there. Dotson playing more out in the flat as like that hybrid strong safety linebacker.
Sperry will dump it off to Schneider in the flat. Schneider around the blocking and a first down. You know, one player we haven't seen much this first half is Corbin Glasgow, the receiver for Denton Geyer, number 19. Missed last week's game. He's dealing with a back injury. Had 2 touchdowns in the season opener against Toledo, including one for a kickoff return. And he's a dynamic player for the Wildcats offense, but dealing with that injury. That, as someone who's dealt with back injuries, I can tell you they're not always 1 week deals, and sometimes they can linger a little bit longer.
Yeah, but having a back injury and walking around a television studio is a lot different from having a back injury and having guys chase you.
That's right. So. Although you should have seen me hobble around that television studio. They almost had to wheel me around, man.
No, back injuries are no fun. Doesn't matter how it happens, but you know, a young man dealing with an issue like that, and I'm sure they just want to take care of him and make sure that it doesn't linger and become a problem on down the line. But when you come up against a team like North Crowley, you want to have all hands on deck. Because you know, man, look, they have so many athletes, and you're a team that likes to run the ball, play ball control, field position, things like that, man. You just look, when you're short-staffed, don't have your guns, you have your bullets in your gun ready to go. You end up being down by 28 going into the half.
Xavier Coleman was the injured Panther on the field as he's helped off and walks off. Don't forget, we've got the halftime shows coming up. We will live stream the performances from the band and the drill team for North Crowley and Denton Geyer. So stay with us for that. That's always great to see on these Friday nights here in the state of Texas. Kevin Sperry on 2nd and long. Will throw. He's got a man wide open. It's Mason White. White breaks a couple of tackles and dragged down near the 26-yard line.
I'm going to give credit right here to the quarterback, Kevin Sperry, having the patience to continue to survey the field and wait on number 16, Mason White, to come open.
Sperry this time. DJ Reese.
This kid has an arm.
He does, and Coach Reed Heim for Geyer was telling us he's got tons of leadership, flashes, extreme talent. He's really just getting acclimated to the offense, because remember, this is his first year starting for the Wildcats. First year he's been with the program, so he's really just coming in cold since the offseason.
Oh, see if that one got back to the line of scrimmage. Referees may have to talk about this. Nope, no conversation. See him back out. The pressure's coming on. Number 2, Jonathan Cunningham. I talked about him earlier, the Texas commit. You see him and his length on the outside, man, beating his man. But just like that, Denton Geyer is down here in the red zone. And, Jonah, if I'm Geyer, I want to get out of this with some points.
Kevin Sperry to the end zone. And nearly picked off by Dre Fulbright, the 3-star recruit committed to Tulsa.
And Sperry sees DJ Reese coming open at the last minute, but he has a defender coming across his face. Lucky to get that one back.
Fortunate that wasn't picked off by Fulbright. 3rd and 10, 15 seconds left here in the first half. And a timeout called by North Crowley. So I thought this was a pretty neat connection from our conversation with Geyer head coach Reed Heim earlier this week. Reed Heim played linebacker at Austin College. When he graduated, he took a coaching position with his alma mater as linebackers coach. As linebackers coach at Austin College, a freshman comes into the program by the name of DeMarcus Harris. Do you know who DeMarcus Harris is, Heckma Harrison?
I do not, Jonah. I'm sure you're going to tell me.
He's the defensive coordinator for North Crowley.
How about that?
So we've got a couple of roos on the sidelines tonight with Reed Heim and DeMarcus Harris. They've known each other for a long time.
Kind of aged himself with that whole admission, didn't he? Well, he was a GA. He's like, I just got done playing. This guy comes in as a freshman. But, man, it tells you all you need to know about the relationship of some of these guys, man. That's a great story.
It really is. You know, it's a big family, Texas high school football. And all these guys know each other. And it's like 2 degrees of separation.
Absolutely.
Right? You don't even need 7. So, yeah, it was cool to hear that. Reed Heim said he also was the GA at Baylor when the O-line coach for North Crowley was there. So, like, all these connections that he was sharing with us. So, you know, 2 schools that don't really see each other a whole lot in high school football, and you know they've got connections on opposite sides of the field. But anyway, getting back to the action here, 3rd down and 10 for Geyer. Sperry completes the pass.
That one's down in the ground. It catches it.
They got to speed it up because they're out of timeouts.
That is a first down, though.
Tick, tick, tick. 1 second. I don't know if they're going to get it off.
They're not.
As the refs blow the whistle. And Ray Gates is fired up. Running out to the 10-yard line, fist bumping, and the head coach for North Crowley is fired up, and why not?
Well, they absolutely needed to get a score right there. Burnt all their timeouts and just not enough time to get into the end zone.
35-7 your score here at Crowley ISD Stadium. The number 3 ranked team in the state for Class 6A, North Crowley, on top of Denton Geyer, the number 17 ranked Wildcats, with a lot of work to do in the second half here south of Fort Worth. We'll take a quick break.
The 12-yard touchdown.
Catch a live broadcast of every play of the biggest high school football games. Next up, Colleyville Heritage at Argyle.
Stream the broadcast free.
September 27th at 7 on WFAA+.
Thanks, Delkus.
Thanks, Delkus.
Possibly the most loved and hated man in North Texas. Whatever the weather brings, we bring the Delkus.
WFAA has a legacy of changing the system.
Most recently, we did a story on ankle monitors and how they don't work, and how criminals are committing crimes with ankle monitors. And yeah, there's legislative change coming.
Our 2-year investigation caught the attention of state representatives. Now, it's a crime to cut off ankle monitors.
I want people to see things that we need to hold people accountable for.
WFAA Sports. To us, it's about so much more than a highlight, wins or losses. It's the heart that makes up the game. The triumph of human spirit. It's agony and victory. Diehards and day ones. It can divide or unify communities. We give you the stats, but inspire you with the stories. The unpredictable, unforgettable, and incomparable. We bring it to you all because sports lives in all of us.
Discover WFAA Plus, a live 24-hour stream of WFAA news and exclusive digital content, all completely free. Now available on Apple TV, Roku, and Fire TV. Download WFAA Plus today.
Right now in Terrell and in Dallas, your heat index is 107. Everyone in McKinney is dead. It's hot in McKinney. We'll fix that probably.
Possibly the most loved and hated man in North Texas. Whatever the weather brings, we bring the Delcus.
Welcome back to Friday Night Football. Second half about to get underway here at North Crowley as the number 3 ranked team in the state. The North Crowley Panthers are up big on the visiting Denton Guyer Wildcats, 35-7 your score as we get set to start the third quarter here just south of Fort Worth. Jonah Javad alongside Heckma Harrison. Thank you for watching on the WFAA Plus app or the WFAA YouTube channel. Wherever you're tuning in from, let us know in the comments. We'd love to see where people are watching from. It can often be from around the state, around the country. So hit us up there in the comments. And Heckma, first half went the way Ray Gates' guys wanted to, but for head coach Reed Heim and Guyer, not exactly what you were hoping on the road here tonight.
No, they were under a ton of pressure, and everything that they tried defensively just didn't work. They tried to spy on Jimerson. They tried trying to blitz off the edge. They really tried to clamp down on this running game and everything. Like I said, every time they kept trying to make an adjustment, they found themselves even more outflanked than they were before the adjustment. I just think right now you're going up against a team that it is apparent that there is plenty of team speed over there, but also under the leadership of Chris Jimerson Jr., that quarterback is dialing it up, and he's just having his way right now here at home.
They are swag surfing in the crowd tonight, and why not with the home team up 4 touchdowns on the number 17 ranked team in the state, Denton Guyer. But yeah, this North Crowley team is there seems to be no sign of a trap game here tonight after North Crowley took care of Desoto 57-51 last week, and coming out the week after and putting it on the Wildcats of Denton Guyer. It's really just solidifying the Panthers are that good. Here to start the second half, DJ Reese on the return for Guyer, taken down at the 28-yard line, and so the Wildcats offense retakes the field, led by senior quarterback Kevin Sperry, transferred in with the program after winning the state title last year with a school in Oklahoma. Midwest City Carl Albert won the 5A state title there as a junior, played his sophomore year at Prosper Rock Hill. So he was North Texas, Oklahoma last year, back to North Texas, and now he's leading this offense for the Wildcats. First down and 10 for Guyer as they try to do something, anything, to get back in this game. Caden Cobbs on the carry. Somehow stays on his feet and picks up a couple.
Yeah, Caden Cobbs, just a junior. When we talked to Coach Heim, he was one of the guys that he definitely raved about and said, look, we're going to get behind this young man. We know he's also a dual threat, a guy that we rely on defense, but he has to move the pile for us and pick up some tough first downs.
First half stats, Kevin Sperry, 7 completions on 15 attempts, 104 yards, 1 touchdown, no picks, and that nearly was the worst announcer's jinx of all time.
Yeah, you were up against it.
Literally in real time. Wow. Okay.
It's an athletic play on the outside by Avery Dotson, being able to go up and bat that ball in the air. We saw a Dallas Cowboy, one Micah Parsons, do that last Sunday against the Cleveland Browns, and it ended up in an interception.
So once again, 3rd and long for Geyer. They've had a ton of 3rd and longs tonight. Only one touchdown on the board. It came back in the first quarter on a beautiful throw from Kevin Sperry to Mason White, but no points since then. Here, 3rd down completion. It's Jackson Shockley, the tight end, still on his feet and rumbles all the way into North Crowley territory. Jackson Shockley carrying the defender for nearly 10 yards.
And they just call that the sled drill. And Shockley using that big body to driving, basically dragging 3 defenders with him.
Sperry, play fake, going deep, pass caught.
Oh, that's pretty.
Touchdown, Wildcats. Mason White again.
Whew. This is beautiful. And this is a beautiful ball set up by Kevin Sperry with the play action, freezes the linebackers on the backside, but gives him just enough room, and that is a dot on the outside.
Geyer coach Reed Heim told us this week, Kevin Sperry is really talented, and we see flashes of it. He's just in year 1 with this Geyer program, and that was a flash to Mason White for 6, and gotta love that if you're a Wildcat fan. Showing some fight, coming out, throwing deep, and picking up a touchdown.
You know what, Jonah? This is why not getting that score at the end of the first half was such a big deal for Denton Geyer. We don't want to live in ifs and maybes, all right? If it maybe had a baby, we'd name it coulda. That's what my grandmother used to say. Anyway.
I was in ifs and buts were candies and nuts. We'd all have a Merry Christmas.
Yeah. There it is.
Yeah.
But
that's right.
That score at the end of the first half, you're able to come back here and maybe, this is a 21-35 ball game, and you basically win the split. So that's why Coach Ray Gates was so happy at the end of that first half, because he knows that they dodged a bullet by getting out of that and not allowing the score.
Yeah, for those who might have missed it on a broadcast, end of the first half, really final seconds, Geyer had the ball deep in the red zone of North Crowley, threatening to score a touchdown, and they complete a pass inbounds, and the clock just expires before they can get another playoff. And so those points, it could be in theory a 2-touchdown game had they gotten 6 there, but here they go, and that ball's touched and almost isn't recovered by the Wildcats. There is a scrum. North Crowley says they have it.
Boy.
And the Panthers do, but Geyer going with the onside kick there, a valiant attempt as they try to continue to claw back into this game down 3 scores.
And they're not going to go away, and they're definitely not going to give up. So looking at these guys on the other side for Denton Geyer, they're going to continue to chip away at this. They've gotten a score here.
And so onto the field comes the North Crowley offense, led by quarterback Chris Jimerson, 3-star recruit, committed to UNT. 9 of 11 in the first half for 227 yards, 3 passing touchdowns, and one of them was to electrifying wide receiver Quentin Gibson. That's Gibson right there, and that's electrifying too. Quentin Gibson, could he go? Could he go? Yes! Quentin Gibson, another 6 for 6.
All this kid needs is just a glimmer of light, and he is going to take it to the house, even with the angle. The whole defense turns and runs and gets out there. Look at that. After one miss, this defense, you don't see the next defender, 2 defenders, until he gets to the goal line.
That is track speed.
Oh, my God.
Quentin Gibson.
Oh, wow.
I don't want to say obscurity, but this kid has jumped on the map in the biggest of ways through 3 weeks of the high school football season. He had 7 catches, 76 yards, and 3 touchdowns in the season opener against Lancaster. Last week, in the big win over Desoto that had the whole entire state talking, 7 receptions, 180 yards, 4 touchdowns against Desoto. And now tonight, Quentin Gibson adds to his incredible first half where he had 3 catches for 104 yards, a receiving touchdown, and he had that rushing touchdown to start the game, but he adds another long touchdown there. He is over 150 yards receiving, 2 receiving touchdowns. Heckma, I'm not the best at math, but I do know this. Quentin Gibson, and we're not even done with this game, but I'm saying through these 3 games so far tonight, Quentin Gibson has 10 touchdowns on the season. And he's played Desoto, ranked number 1 in the state, and Denton Guyer tonight, ranked number 17. That is impressive.
Yeah, the phone is ringing. the phone is ringing.
Oh, yeah, this is Bama, this is Oklahoma, this is Texas.
The phone is ringing. Hey, you need a slot receiver. You better come and see this guy, Quentin Gibson. Man, the speed is literally unmatched on the outside. We see one guy miss on a tackle, and that's all he needs. Down the sideline, and they still can't catch him. Not a hand on him other than the first missed tackle.
Guyer jumps on the ball at the 20. And so the Wildcats, you're feeling great, right? You're feeling great. We scored to start the second half. Maybe we can climb back into it, get a stop. The onside kick doesn't go their way, and then Quentin Gibson happens, which he's just inevitable. I mean, he really, to me, is, I don't want to speak in certainties, but he is definitely one of the best stories in Texas high school football this year. No stars, not heavily recruited, very few offers to start the year, and now schools have made offers just in the last couple of days through 2 weeks of the season. And after tonight and by the end of the season, he's going to have some big-time Power 5 offers, I am sure. Because when you are one of the most talented players for the number 3 ranked team in the entire state of Texas, you're no slouch. And schools are wisening up.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. I mean, it's a guy that's waited his turn. And for a lot of these guys, they live on social media. They see a lot of their friends being offered, guys being invited to camps. And for him, Gibson has been the guy kind of sitting on the outside, having to wait his turn. And this is what they call being ready when your opportunity comes. And that's what Gibson has done. He's showing you right here. He's put the hard work in, and getting his opportunity now, it is starting to play off, man. Kudos to him.
So Guyer with the ball now. That pass complete from Kevin Sperry to DJ Reese. And
Sperry's pass, number 5, DJ Reese. Good for about 6 yards.
6-yard pickup for Reese. Yeah, we were talking to North Crowley head coach Ray Gates this week, and he was saying, yeah, just talked to TCU the other day about Quentin Gibson. This is a kid that wasn't heavily recruited at all 3 weeks ago. So very cool to see, and his stock just continues to soar. You're seeing it here tonight on Friday Night Football, the home opener for the North Crowley Panthers, and putting on an absolute show for the Panther faithful tonight at Crowley ISD Stadium. Beautiful stadium, great spot to be. This spot opened up in 2022, 8,000 capacity, and the home side is very full.
Still has that new smell in the building.
Yeah, but
tackle on the backside.
What would you say a new smell is for a stadium? Cement, concrete, turf, AstroTurf? It's not AstroTurf.
Whatever we're smelling right now in the press box, that's what I'm calling it. The definitely down on the field, man. That's great surface down there that they're playing on. Not like that old AstroTurf that we used to play on. Well, I used to play on, which was yeah, you leave some skin down on that thing.
Second and long for Guyer. And Kevin Sperry, the quarterback for the Wildcats, has played, I guess, a bit how we expected. We didn't think it was going to be a perfect outing for him, but he has shown the flashes that head coach Riedheim has talked so much about. Is like you just see these glimpses. Wow. Like, he had the throw on the touchdown to Mason White early in this game, which was a teardrop throw. Another great pass on the touchdown to Mason White here to start the third quarter. A couple of great balls, and you can really see the talent. You know, he's a 6'1", 205. He might be a little bit bigger than that.
Yeah.
And, you know, committed to Oklahoma, and the talent just, it pops. It's not every throw and every drive, but you see it. And when you see it, it really does stand out.
What really stands out about him more than anything is his deep ball. We've seen the connections between him and Mason White on 2 touchdowns, and it's just been throws that Mason White has just ran under. And so you love to see that. I mean, even those, you saw him those out routes and, a couple 7s. I mean, he is tattooing guys. He's putting it on them, and that's all you can ask for as a wide receiver, is to have a quarterback that can, basically get the ball to you as you're coming out of your break. He's had a lot of throws like that in this game, and you see why the University of Oklahoma has committed him.
Another flag on the field. And complete to DJ Reese. Those are the type of throws we've seen a lot from Sperry tonight. These intermediate, and he's hit a few deep balls, but he's really just working like kind of that 8 to 10 yard pass. These offenses are very different from each other. Like the one that Blake Joseph runs for Geyer is very different than the one Eli Reinhardt runs for North Crowley. With North Crowley, you just see a ton of screens to Quentin Gibson, because when you've got speed like that, you just need to get him out in space, whereas Geyer, you're kind of seeing a lot of these curl routes, a lot of stuff just kind of, about 10 yards downfield. And perhaps the score has dictated some of what we're seeing, but.
Yeah, it took the words right out of my mouth on the speed portion of it. It's just like they have some of those long balls out there, and another flag on the field.
Roughing the quarterback is the penalty.
Wow. They're still coming after him.
On Neandre Cassie.
Called it on 44. But I just wanted to point out to you on what you're saying is, Jonah, the difference is, even though they're both the play design, those passes to the outside, that speed component, when a guy misses the tackle, that's the end, because that ball's going to the house.
Here's Caden Cobbs breaking it outside. Not much doing. Been a bit quiet of a night for Caden Cobbs, the junior, a 3-star recruit, 2-way player. You might have seen him on linebacker a little bit tonight.
Yeah, he's been playing his heart out, going both ways against a team that's just as physical as they are with the speed. Caden Cobbs has gotten a taste of it on both sides of the ball today. That's a young man that's going to need an ice bath after this one. But just a junior.
Sperry going deep. Jackson Shockley, the man intended for, and that draws another flag. Will be pass interference as Jackson Shockley tried to make the grab.
Jabril Asbury, he has his tight end on him. He's running with him. He's in his hip pocket. Well, that's a great sale, though, by Jackson Shockley.
So that moves Geyer inside the 20. A red zone possession for the Wildcats, and this will let the defense catch its breath a little bit more after that Quentin Gibson touchdown. Sperry, nice run up the middle.
Yeah, you see the size, and he's pretty elusive. Not calling him Chris Jimerson by any shot, but he is definitely, his ability to get through those first line of defenders is on point, but this kid has an arm.
And a timeout called on the field.
Stay up to date on all of the great things happening in Crowley ISD on social media. You can follow the district and individual campuses on Facebook, X, Instagram, YouTube, and more. And don't forget to use
So while this score is not quite indicative of how good Geyer is, at least in my estimation, this game is probably a bit more fair. This was Geyer's opener against Aledo to start the season. Corbin Glasgow returns the kickoff for a touchdown. That was in the final seconds of the first half to tie the game, and then the Wildcats went on to win. What was most impressive about that, it snapped Aledo's 30-game win streak, and so that got the Wildcats season off to a pretty strong start. We haven't seen Glasgow tonight. He's dealing with that back injury. Perhaps that's kind of, hurt this offense a little bit. But you see this Geyer team has quite a bit of talent when fully healthy, and they've got hopes of getting back to the state title. They were there 2 years ago, lost to DeSoto in the final. Had a bit of a down year last year, went 7-4, lost in the bi-district playoffs to Capel. But this is a program that is prideful. It's been among the state powers for nearly a decade here, and trying to win their first state title since 2013 when they won back-to-back state championships under John Walsh in 4A.
Yeah, they just got to continue to battle. This is a squad that, when you look at what they have at the quarterback position, as you were saying earlier, look, this is a good squad. You want to see these kids continue to battle. You want to see them continue to battle because you know that they have chances at the end of the season and also into the playoffs. When you mention what they don't have their all-everything guy, number 19, Glasgow, right now, and I think it's limiting what they're able to do on offense when you don't have one of your playmakers.
I mean, give credit. DJ Reese has been pretty solid in in the intermediate passing game, and Mason White has reeled in 2 long touchdowns. So there are weapons, but when you can throw Corbin Glasgow into the mix as well. That gives him 3 options. Kevin Sperry gives him 3 options to work with in the passing game. So yeah, not the full complement tonight as we're used to seeing for this Geyer offense.
Well, they had their opportunities to really change things, and when they got the opportunity, they just didn't. And I don't, look, there's no sense in just crying about what happened at the end of the first half, but I think that was big, what happened to them and just their inability to get that score. They really needed that, really, to kind of change the momentum and have something good to say about themselves.
Sperry, takes off. That is an impressive play by Neandre Cassie, because Sperry had daylight to run into the end zone, and Cassie just gets an arm on him to fight through the block. Oh, that is a tremendous play by Cassie.
You know what? I thought you had it wrong when you said Neandre.
There's Neandre and Neonte.
I didn't want to correct. I did. Wow.
I might have got the penalty wrong early.
No, it was 42. Yeah, so it was 42.
42 is Neandre. And that is complete for a touchdown.
Wow.
Kevin Sperry to Daniel Tong. Nice start there from Kevin Sperry.
A good job by Tong holding on to that ball, because he took a shot in the back. Talk about a guy that's going to have whiplash. You saw the way that he took that one.
Come on, they're
right in the center of the back.
Heck, they're teenagers. They're not like us. They're malleable. They can withstand it.
Let me tell you something.
Bounce back.
Let me tell you something. A lot of these hits that I see down here on the football field, you'd have to care flight me out of here. I know. I couldn't take any of that.
Well, there you go, Denton Geyer fans watching, wherever you're watching from. Another touchdown pass from quarterback Kevin Sperry. That is his 3rd passing touchdown of the night. 2 have gone to Mason White. That one went to Daniel Tong, and it cuts the deficit to 21 points. But therein lies the big trouble facing North Crowley, is you've got to get stops, and they are a team that is pretty hard to stop.
Yeah, this is there's a lot of difficulty associated with this team. And all the teams that are tuning in to watch these guys, I think they're asking themselves, how do you prepare for this North Crowley team? Who do you prepare to stop? I mean, and once you stop Chris Jimerson, who's to say you're going to be able to stop Gibson? Okay, you stop Gibson. Good luck, all right? You did it, all right? Reward, get a cookie. Then Daniel Bray gets loose. Oh, you stop Daniel Bray. What about Cornelius Warren? I mean, I mean, this is a great team.
The scouting report on North Crowley is an absolute stud receiver in Quentin Gibson, a dual threat quarterback in Chris Jimerson Jr., and then 2 running backs that stay fresh and are equally talented. And here's one of them now, Daniel Bray on the return. Bray, can he break another tackle? No.
Just do everything to hold this guy down. Man, he's hard to stop.
They are elusive, and I think one of the things we probably haven't given enough credit to in this game for North Crowley is some of the blocking on these, the screen passes for one. I mean, you don't break those without hitting your blocks downfield. And one of the names we haven't called tonight, and it doesn't happen often because offensive lineman names don't often get called on broadcast unless it's something bad like a holding penalty, but we got to give a lot of praise to this North Crowley O-line, especially left tackle John Turrentine III. He's a junior, 4-star recruit, committed to the University of Texas, and he is a top 5 O-lineman in the nation for the class of 2026. And so, one of the best O-line prospects North Crowley's ever had over there on the left side, and they know about talented O-linemen. They've produced Tyler Smith, the Cowboys' starting left guard, Pro Bowl left guard, not too long ago. Then also on the left side, they've got Henry Fanuku, the starting left guard North Crowley does. He's a 4-star committed to
Mizzou.
Let's go, MIZ. Sorry, I got to stay neutral, heck no.
Sure.
He's committed to the University of Missouri.
Yeah. Being a guy from the Big 8, I don't have a lot of love for Missouri. But thank you for pointing to me, and hey, I'll get it done for the broadcast.
I can't imagine you did have much love for the Big 8.
No, Missouri in particular.
Yes.
So that's that hurt a little bit.
Yeah. Well, you played in the Little Apple, and that's right.
Yeah. That's a bit of a rivalry. Mizzou is a basketball school.
Stop it. Stop. Knock it off. 2nd and 11. Heckma, you're out of pocket. That's complete. Quentin Gibson again. He's still almost staying on his feet.
I mean, that's the magic of this offense. And
Quentin Gibson's like a cat. You ever try to throw a cat off you and it just still lands on all 4? And he's just like it is so impossible to get him down. He's so quick, so agile. Wow.
I've never thrown a cat off me, but I can.
You haven't thrown cats?
I mean, I can use my imagination here, Jonah.
Cats?
No.
Can't say you have?
No, can't say I have. But, I mean, here, talk about cat quickness. Look at this, going back against the grain.
Oh, great defensive play there.
Yeah, and that's one of those. That's one of those plays that when you go back to film study, the offensive coordinator is going to say, look, guys, I know I have a bunch of guys that believe in their athletic ability, but sometimes the play is over.
Caleb Fowler there with a nice wrap up in the backfield. You are watching number 3 ranked North Crowley. Also nationally ranked, not just ranked in the state there. Ranked nationally number 7, according to Sports Illustrated, number 13 nationally according to Max Prep. So truly one of the top 15 teams in the entire country. The team in black up 42-21 on Denton Geyer. The Wildcats ranked 17th in the state for Class 6A. A dandy of a non-district game, but district play is coming for both of these schools before long. North Crowley's still got to face Rockwall next week, and then they begin district play with Mansfield Legacy on the 27th. Geyer starts next week, district play at Flower Mound. So
I just want to give a shout out to Rockwall. They lost their quarterback, Locke.
Braden Locke.
Braden Locke to an ACL injury, gone for the year. One of those guys that I absolutely love. I mean, his brother was a stud there at Rockwall, and man, he's just a tremendous athlete, man. I wish him well in the speedy recovery.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, senior, I believe, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that is. That is tough. That is the matchup for North Crowley next week at Rockwall.
Prior to snap, timeout, Denton Guy. That is their first charge timeout of the second half.
Denton Geyer calls timeout. We'll step aside for some station identification.
WFAA has a legacy of changing the system.
Most recently, we did a story on ankle monitors and how they don't work, and how criminals are committing crimes with ankle monitors. And yeah, there's legislative change coming.
Our 2-year investigation caught the attention of state representatives. Now, it's a crime to cut off ankle monitors.
I want people to see things that we need to hold people accountable for.
Right now in Terrell and in Dallas, your heat index is 107. Everyone in McKinney is dead. It's hot in McKinney. We'll fix that probably.
Possibly the most loved and hated man in North Texas. Whatever the weather brings, we bring the Delcus.
They're playing Blow the Whistle here at Crowley ISD Stadium, so you know the vibes are right. And it's second and extremely long for the North Crowley Panthers. Chris Giberson Jr. back to throw, and that's caught. No way, no way, no way, no way, yes way. Quentin Gibson all the way for another 6 for 6. You gotta be kidding me.
Wow. You call a timeout, you think you got the perfect defense on, and he is just walking it out right now. You know, I know we were just listening to the Lil Jon and the East Side Boys blow the whistle, but that is like he's going to make somebody blow a gasket try to catch up with him. Way to go, Quentin Gibson. Man, I am a fan.
Do you want to know why that's so perfect? Well, like that whole sequence, right? They're playing blow the whistle during the timeout. And then the first play out of the timeout is this insanely long touchdown pass on 2nd and 24, mind you, to Quentin Gibson. Blow the Whistle is a song by Too Short. Quentin Gibson is 5'9", 165, and head coach Ray Gates told us this week that there's a little bit of that little man syndrome, and that he is always out to prove something. And so while Too Short's playing, Too Short's going into the end zone.
I'm sure he didn't want to be known as that, but he is the guy that has got the Jets also at 5'9", 165 pounds, small in stature, but oh so mighty. I mean, he's putting on a clinic out here.
Yeah, they're tough, man.
He's putting out a clinic.
They are tough.
And you sit off of them. You saw the coverage, the too high safety look. They're sitting back. They're like, look, we're going to play everything underneath, and when they catch the ball, we just got to make sure that we get them down on the ground. But you got to get your hand on them first. You got to tackle them first. This is a team. I don't know, man.
This young man's got the right idea.
Well,
Panther fans are going nuts right now, and as they should. This is just an absolutely incredible game to witness.
No, well, first of all, it's the atmosphere pulling in here that you gotta love. From the time we got here, and we got here pretty early, there are people outside. They're tailgating. They're preparing for this, for this game today. They had all of the middle schoolers and all of the little league teams here at Crowley Sports Complex. So they're grooming the next batch that are going to come through this program. You love to see a team like this in the DFW. And, hey, what did Ray Gates say about this? He says, look, man, I know about Dallas and all the athletes that they have, but they're going to have to put extra capital letters on their FW because that's what North Crowley's going to do. We're going to put the F in W.
Big play here for Geyer. Give him some good field position. But you're absolutely right. This is, in our talks with Geyer head coach Reed Heim this week, he knows what Ray Gates, the head coach of North Crowley, wants to do. He wants to turn North Crowley really into one of those Duncanville, Desoto type programs, but for the Fort Worth area. And I mean, Ray Gates is in year 3. They haven't lost a regular season game yet in those 3 years. And his two losses came in the playoffs, most recently in the state semifinals last year to Duncanville. So, like, you know, they say Rome wasn't built in a day, but maybe it was built in 2.5 years.
Maybe so. And what a stat when you say you hadn't lost during the regular season. And that just shows you the pride that they put into everything that they do around here. And, I mean, they're not taking these games like this for granted. They know that in order to get to the playoffs, they have to pull out big victories each and every week. That's why going up against DeSoto was such a measuring stick game for them. But this is a team that's riding high, not only off of that victory, but coming off of a big-time win here today, even though we have another quarter to play. So.
Yeah, I would say this is the breakout game for Quentin Gibson, the receiver for North Crowley tonight, but it's not. I mean, he broke out week 1, further broke out last week against DeSoto, and this is just padding the numbers. They're staggering. I'll mention them during the next timeout, but North Crowley has one of the best receivers in the state, and it's hilarious that, you know, he's not heavily recruited. He wasn't heavily recruited going into the season because so many of the star receivers we see in this area come in with so much hype and all these stars next to their name, and they're going to this school. Quentin Gibson had none of that going into this year. In the span of not even 3 full games, he has put himself on the map, and I'm not sure there's a lot. The number of receivers that are better than him in the state of Texas, there are not that many from what we've seen through these 3 weeks of the year.
Well, Jonah, is it safe to say that he's not done?
We'll see what the score is. Maybe he grabs some bench, grab a water ball, and call it a day. I mean,
yeah, maybe today. Maybe today he's done for today. But you know, next week against Rockwall, this is a guy that I'm sure.
That's what's scary about this.
The Yellow Jackets are trying to prepare for.
The numbers he's put up are against the #1 team in the state last week. This week it's the number 17 team. What's going to happen when they get to district play?
Yeah.
Because the district play is not as good as these teams that they faced these last 2 weeks. So,
well, if you know Ray Gates the way that I think you do, you know that he's going to be on point and he is going to be preparing for the letdown. The trap is going to stay on the field. He's going to keep that raccoon trap out there to let them know that, look, don't start reading your own press clippings and don't get caught up in the hype. Duncanville is waiting. Schools like that are waiting. You will see opposition that will be there ready to beat you. And now, like I said, in the open, they've gone from being to the hunter to the hunted, and that's a different approach for this North Crowley team.
Adriano Navarez, the center for Geyer, is being tended to midfield. We'll step aside for a short break.
WFAA Sports. To us, it's about so much more than a highlight, wins or losses. It's the heart that makes up the game. The triumph of human spirit. It's agony and victory. Diehards and day ones. It can divide or unify communities. We give you the stats, but inspire you with the stories. The unpredictable, unforgettable, and incomparable. We bring it to you all because sports lives in all of us.
You need a team you can trust to prepare you for the day.
We are making sure that you have all the information you need.
Looking out for you.
So we do have the heat advisory and air quality alert in effect for today.
Bold reporting.
Reporting from Plano.
Red flag warning in place.
Dynamic coverage.
Live from Addison.
Original content.
We are staying on top of this story, of course. Be safe out there on the roads. It's going to be a great time.
I am up with Daybreak. What about you?
3rd and 3 for Geyer. Give to Sterling Schneider. First down for Geyer after Sterling Schneider picks up the short gain. You're watching Friday Night Football on WFAA Plus and the WFAA YouTube channel. Jonah Javad on the call alongside my buddy Heckma Harrison. And we figured we were in for a good one, but it's been pretty lopsided for most of the night. Geyer trying to at least keep pace, but it's hard to keep pace with North Crowley.
Oh, it is, and they're pretty much scoring at will and scoring on every possession, and maybe punted once, if I'm counting this correct, maybe punted once in this game. But yeah, that's hard to deal with when every time you come out, these guys are finding a way to get into the end zone. And no matter what you do, call a timeout to make sure you got the correct coverage on. They got another guy over there by the name of Quentin Gibson that'll make you pay for giving him too much room.
Offsetting penalties. They'll replay the down with a buck 0-1 left to play in the third quarter.
Jimmy Carter's been calling it right down the middle, hasn't he? A lot of flags out.
You're going to make your presidential joke
No,
again?
I wasn't. I was just leaving it alone. I used it already. So recycle those.
All right. 1st and 10. Sperry off the hands. Looking for Daniel Tong.
Oh, that was, look, good job, Tong, but he was running into a headache. Yeah, and I think Tong made a bit of a business decision right there. That safety was over the top, and he was beelining towards him.
Kevin Sperry's had a solid night. He's been pretty good for Geyer. 3 touchdown passes. Corrals the snap there, throws to the end zone, and my goodness, Mason White on top of 2 defenders.
Oh man, Mason White with the hat trick tonight. That's his 3rd touchdown.
It is. 3rd touchdown grab of the night for Mason White. Kevin Sperry's 4th touchdown pass of the ball game. And that was, let's throw this up and let my guy go make a play. And boy, did he. What a grab.
And going up in between 2 Panther defenders. And I just love the confidence there by Kevin Sperry, giving his wide receiver an opportunity to make a play. And that's the thing about Denton Geyer. They're not going to stop competing. As the numbers dictate and you look at the score, North Crowley has been putting it on them, but Geyer's just continuing to chip away. You're going to be in a dogfight every time you play these guys.
We've talked so much about Quentin Gibson from North Crowley, and for good reason. Let's give our props to Mason White, the junior receiver for Denton Geyer. 5 catches, 141 yards, and 3 touchdowns. And he's not usually the number 1 or number 2 option in the passing game for Geyer. But with Corbin Glasgow still kind of dealing with a back injury, Mason White's been thrust into more playing time, and the juniors really come to play tonight.
No, and another one of those guys that Jonah has gotten this opportunity and he was ready for it. And like you said, Corbin Glasgow is usually the guy that they depend on in that passing game. With his absence, here's Mason White with 3 touchdowns here in North Crowley.
Daniel Bray trying to set the human record for broken tackles on one play, and eventually gets taken down at the 30.
Yeah, kudos to him. First of all, getting that ball, and it seems like most of these skilled guys, they're going to always make the first guy miss. The 2nd and 3rd also, and maybe the 4th.
I think what's been most surprising about this game is how little Cornelius Warren and Daniel Bray have been involved, at least compared to weeks past. These were guys that combined for more than 300 or more than 280 yards rushing a week ago. North Crowley ran for 380 against Desoto, and And as soon as I say that, Cornelius Warren
say it again.
plus one for 15 yards.
Hey, you've been good. You've been spot on for that every time.
And next, Jonah Javad did not win the lottery for $7 million.
Hey, let it be,
Let's see if the announcer jinx can work. No, but yeah, I mean, compared to last week, North Crowley's run game has not been as strong as it was, but again, their passing game has been silly with what they've been able to do with quarterback Chris Jimerson Jr. and receiver Quentin Gibson. But again, it goes back to what we were saying. It's pick your poison with this team. It's, we can throw it all over you and then pound the rock if we need to. So depending on what the defense gives you, they'll do it. As the clock hits zeros at the end of the third quarter, we still got a whole fourth quarter to play. Step aside for one short break and be right back.
The 12-yard touchdown.
Catch a live broadcast of every play of the biggest high school football games. Next up, Colleyville Heritage at Argyle.
Stream the broadcast free.
September 27th at 7 on WFAA+.
Extremely talented group out there, an extremely talented group of kids, and it's just going to be exciting. I think that's a huge thing. I come from the 817. We take pride in Funky Town. We got a lot of talent. It's an extremely talented group out there, an extremely talented group of kids, and it's just going to be exciting to see for years to come. How they blow up and how they play.
That was Cowboys offensive lineman Tyler Smith, the starting left guard, Pro Bowler for the Cowboys. He played his high school football for North Crowley. Got a chance to catch up with him yesterday at the Star, and he was so proud of his Panthers for what they're doing this year, and a very prideful young man about the high school football that goes on in the Fort Worth and greater Fort Worth area. And now people are really getting to know about it thanks to his Panthers and what they're doing this season.
And one of the nicest young men that you ever want to meet, and Tyler Smith, a gentle giant, but not so much when he has that helmet on. I'm telling you, he is a guy that's second team All-Pro, Pro Bowler, and as cementing himself in the legacy and lineage of so many great offensive linemen for the Dallas Cowboys. And like he said, he takes being from the 817 with pride, and so many great athletes coming out of this area. I think Fort Worth has always been starving for that recognition that Dallas is there, and always lived in the shadow of some of those Dallas schools and Dallas athletes.
Yeah, it was cool to hear him talk about the hometown pride, the 817, the funky town. And in our conversations with Ray Gates earlier this week, the head coach of North Crowley echoed that we want to put that FW and DFW high school football, and oftentimes on the outside, it really is just a handful of schools that get the attention. But North Crowley is they wanted to change it, and certainly appears like they have in just a short period of time that Ray Gates has been there, and now in 3 weeks into year 3.
Yeah, there's so much has changed since Ray Gates has gotten here, and he just really just glows about his squad, and just one of the things that he talked about is just being above average. He doesn't want his guys to be average, not only on the field, but also in the classroom. You talk about their GPA. They have 22 guys on this team that are all being recruited, but also they have a great team GPA. And he's like, man, making sure that you have a B and above in those core classes. It's not just about athletics, and being able to instill that in these guys and help them get to the next level. That's the kind of coach that you want, grooming the future and these young men.
Into fourth quarter action here at Crowley ISD Stadium. I'm Jonah Javad, Heckma Harrison alongside. You're watching Friday Night Football on WFAA Plus and the WFAA YouTube channel. Number 3 ranked North Crowley, number 17 Denton Geyer, but it's the Panthers in their home opener this season, taking it to the Wildcats, up 21 with the ball and starting to milk some clock here as they try to shorten this game just a little bit. But Chris Jimerson will throw here. The 3-star QB runs out of bounds and makes a business decision with defenders barreling in on it.
Yeah, just so elusive. Just when you think you got him bottled up, just when you think you got him stopped, Chris Jimerson is able to escape out the back door. Now, a guy that was originally committed to TCU, and he was going to go to TCU and be an athlete. So basically a slot receiver or running back or whatever they needed at TCU. But then along comes the University of North Texas, and they give him an opportunity to continue his career as a quarterback. And you can tell for Chris Jimerson, that was very important to him to get that opportunity. At 5'9", 165 pounds, 5'11", as they have him listed. I'm sorry, I got to take a few inches from him. 5'11", 165 pounds. You know, he is one of those quarterbacks that you look at his IQ, the throws that he makes. We've seen it out here, those touchdown throws, and just his ability to get out the pocket. Can you see him at the next level being just as dynamic as you've seen him in high school?
I think so much of his is dependent on what team are you going to and what offense are you going into, right? You know, you got to go to a scheme that fits what you do well. You know, like, I don't know if Jimerson would work on Geyer's offense and Sperry would work. You know, you play to the talents. But Jimerson is an electrifying player. What's been funny about watching him this game is, you know, he can run, and it's in his back pocket anytime he wants, and he just hasn't had to do it very much at all tonight, maybe a few times, but he's got plenty of speed, and it's there just, you know, in case. But we have seen that athleticism extend plays. It led to that touchdown pass to Jaden Brooks in the first half with him escaping pressure, so a lot of tools there. They're going for it again on 4th down. They've been doing this pretty much all night, and that one is picked off. Intercepted. There is a flag down, though, near the 40-yard line.
It's going to be interesting to see if this is a pass interference penalty. If this came down at the end of that play, typically a block in the back penalty when you get an interception like that from the defense.
Jalen Sterling playing the cat safety role. It is on Geyer, and so there's no interception. The penalty is hands to the face. And so the North Crowley offense will come back onto the field.
And probably no one is more bewildered than the Denton Geyer defense. Like, we finally get this guy to give us the ball, and you mean to tell me
his first mistake really all night?
You mean to tell me you're gonna get us for hands to the face? That's the best you can do. Hands to the face. We've been hanging on all game. We finally get a pick. They go for it on 4th down, and you get us on hands to the face.
It's finally not a Quentin Gibson touchdown, and come away with the ball. Yeah, that's tough. And I mean, listen, it's 21 down 21 to North Crowley. Feels a lot more like 50, right? But still 21 points, and who knows? They get the interception score. It's a 2-score game. Plenty of football left, under 9 minutes, but that's tough. And here come the Panthers now. Daniel Bray trying to get to the outside. Stays on his feet. And gets out of bounds. Man, he is just low center of gravity. I mean,
you think you have him, and look at this defensive line. They're breaking through. They think they have a tackle, but they can't bring him down. Owen Whistler getting through, gets a hand on Daniel Bray and can't bring him down.
They have so many guys like that. Quentin Gibson is a similar style athlete. He's just like, as a defender, you just get so frustrated, like, why won't this guy go to the floor? Keontae Ingram, the 3rd-string running back for North Crowley, is into the game. He's into the backfield with Chris Jimerson. Gets the carry here. He breaks a tackle, too, and he's warmed up.
tell you, I've been watching this matchup over here on the left side between Zane Rowe and John Turntine III. Zane Rowe is going to go, he's an Oklahoma commit. John Turntine III is a Texas commit. These guys are going to see a bunch of one another. Right now, I'm going to give Turntine the nod because we hadn't called Rowe's name very much today.
Daniel Bray on the sideline. He had that kind of crazy play where he escaped pressure, but I was talking to one of the trainers there on the sideline. He's still down there. Looks to be something with one of his lower body injury of some sort. But anyway, Chris Jimerson throws the end zone, and Quentin Gibson nearly gave us yet another highlight.
What do you do if he comes down with that ball? What do you do? Do we just unplug all this stuff and go home?
I would drop.
What do you do?
I would drop the headset.
What do you do?
I don't have a mic. It's a headset, but I would drop the headset and then probably faint. I mean, but this is what Ray Gates told us all week, is that in practice he does all of this in practice.
It's like I'm that close to my fourth tutty for the day.
Fourth receiving. He's got 4 touchdowns already total. He has 1 rushing.
Yes, exactly.
3 receiving. And do my eyes deceive me, Heckma? Or
they do. I think they deceive us both.
North Crowley attempting a field goal? I thought that wasn't allowed for them tonight. So here are the numbers on Quentin Gibson, the electric receiver for North Crowley. He's got 6 catches tonight, 247 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a 2-yard rushing touchdown on top of it. So 4 total scores on the night. You add that to his 4 touchdowns he had last week against Desoto. Add that to the 3 touchdowns he had in the season opener against Lancaster. And number 6 for North Crowley has now got 11 touchdowns on the year. Just an absolute blistering pace for this kid who has popped up, started the year with no stars, uncommitted. In the span of this 1 week alone, he's got offers from Texas State, Nevada, TCU's calling on him. And I would imagine Ray Gates for North Crowley is going to be having some more phone calls with college coaches over these next few days regarding Quentin Gibson, that's for sure. And Heckma, I didn't think I'd see this tonight, but it's a field goal attempt for North Crowley, and that ball is up and good and would have been good from another 15 yards.
There's a penalty down on the field.
Yeah, of course there is.
And I'm laughing because, Jonah, you would not give it up. You would not give it up, and you asked over and over, and Ray. They're going to take the points off. Wow.
Half the distance and a first down, so no field goal. Another penalty moves the chains for North Crowley. If you're head coach Riedheim of Geyer, you're beside yourself, because that is the absolute last thing you want to do, is give an explosive offense like that more opportunities to get into the end zone.
Yeah, that just drives a coach crazy. Leaping. And obviously you've explained all the rules to your team. But man, you get a penalty like that and you send that offense back out on the field, and it's just a bit of bounce and rejuvenation to their step as they run back out there. This is the last thing you want to see if you're a Denton Geyer Wildcat.
Chris Jimerson, the starting quarterback for North Crowley, 13 of 15, 357 yards.
What?
And 5 touchdowns.
Did you say 13 of 15?
For 357 yards. Pull out my trusty calculator here. That's an average of 27 yards, really 28 yards technically per completion. 28 yards per completion.
Wow. I mean, that's a good day's work right there. That is a good day's work, and Quentin Gibson is still on the field.
38% of Chris Jimerson's passes tonight have gone for touchdowns. I love calculators. Keontae Ingram with the carry. And that ball's loose. Ball on the ground. And North Crowley appears to have recovered. Geyer cannot get anything to go their way. Interception called back because of a penalty. Field goal called back because of a penalty. Then a fumble, and North Crowley there. Wow.
And the sophomore, and we talked about him earlier and him getting his opportunities to get into the game and play. Finally getting some shine down on the goal line, and ball pops up there on the last second, and as you stated, Jonah, they are lucky to get that one back. Jalen Sterling, the linebacker, comes through, and he's stripping at the ball. It's a strong play there, but if you're Denton Geyer, you wish you came up with that fumble recovery.
I like that they're sticking with him on the field right now. Ingram picks up the block, goes to the end zone. Gibson!
No way.
Can't hold on to that one.
No way. Yeah, no way. So
Gibson really has come inches away from this twice now on this drive that Gibson has come just, what, a fingertip? Oh, he should have had that one.
Should have had that.
Oh, wow. That's what, you know what's funny about that? That might have been one of the easiest catches you could make all night.
Right.
Oh, Quentin Gibson having himself a night.
Oh, wow.
Oh, he's going to want that one back.
What about the timing and the touch on that one from Jimerson?
Beautiful ball.
Beautiful ball, and sometimes it's too pretty.
I mean, at this point, why are you not doubling Quentin Gibson?
Delay of game.
Another delay of game penalty. We've had a couple of those on this possession as well.
They're going for it here. We're on 4th and 6.
2 steps forward, 1 step back. But with the amount of time getting taken off the clock on this possession, it has made this game pretty much impossible for Geyer to win.
Yeah, I love the shout out you gave the big fellas up front, Turrentine, Fanuco, Delgado, Greer, and Carter. They've done their job here today.
They're giving them time against a really, really good Geyer defensive line. Jimerson directing, throws high, looking for his guy Gibson again. Flag on the field. I try to remind myself, with as many penalties as we have seen tonight and still could see over these final 606, still beats last week between Desoto and North Crowley when there were 29. Is that right? 29 combined penalties last week.
Yeah, and I think
you would have blown a gasket watching that with all the penalties.
I'm sure I would have. In our game that we called out in Oak Cliff, there was a 45-minute rain delay or lightning delay, and even when we finished our game, that game was still going. So that's just
that tells you
with the penalties.
Yeah, well, it would have driven the announcers nuts for sure, but no one more frustrated with that than Claude Mathis, DeSoto's head coach. 163 penalty yards last week in their loss to North Crowley. Oh, that's a lot. First down. Oof. For Denton Geyer.
Yikes. That is laying the lumber right there from Avery Dotson. Woof. Caden Cobbs, big kid, a load, but man, he ran into a brick wall.
I am curious what North Crowley will do should they be, face tougher tests maybe come playoff time. Are they going to keep going for it on 4th down? I mean, they just had another turnover on downs a couple moments ago, and when you face the likes of Duncanville, you can't be really going for 4th down on the 50.
No,
they've rolled the dice a couple of times tonight that most teams would be very conservative, and part of it probably has to do with their special team situation. We mentioned that earlier tonight, and still trying to figure out what they're doing with their kicker, punter, and all of that. But they would like, I would imagine, to get that sorted before the end of the year so they're not searching for answers come playoff time. Sperry, another beautiful deep ball. He really has been fantastic going deep to the air tonight as a flag comes in.
Yeah, DJ Reese is going to kick himself when he sees that one because that was a good ball. He can come down with that, man. That's another one of those highlight reel pitch and catches. Catching on the outside. Look at Kevin Sperry. Got plenty of time. Again, air on this ball. Oh, that's definitely PI. that is textbook PI. Terrell Johnson.
I've been impressed with Sperry tonight. I do wonder, you know, how the rest of the season unfolds and, you know, how he'll perform in district play as well. But again, every game for him in this system, because this is his first year with Geyer. He's a senior, so it's really just a one and done for them. And it's hard to come into a program, learn the playbook, learn everybody's name, take on a leadership role, and you're only, you know, to be an outsider, do that and only do it for 1 year. It's a lot, but he's really had flashes tonight, and, you know, has really one of the better deep balls we've seen.
Yeah, and he
in the area.
He has wide receivers that can run under that ball as well. Mason White has had a fantastic evening, and they just continue. What I'm not going to do is judge a team like Denton Geyer during this game, because
exactly. I think that was my point.
Yeah.
Is that I wouldn't make any judgments on Geyer's, you know, what they're going to do for the rest of the season based on facing North Crowley. The same you wouldn't with Desoto based on last week and giving up 57 points to North Crowley. We are seeing in the Panthers, the home team tonight in their home opener, we are seeing what they've done through these first 3 weeks now, which is dominate offensively, and it puts the opposing offense into a bind.
Yeah, it does, and you know that Coach Gates is going to go through the tape and completely dissect it and find everything wrong that they did today. In the original question, it's like, hey, are they going to be able to go for it on fourth down like this over and over? And I don't think that's a solid game plan. As Sperry loses the ball here at the end, they claim that he's down and he's limping a little bit.
He took a lick from Roderick Bridges at the end of this run. Because he cuts back in and boom, there comes Bridges.
Yikes.
I mean,
ouch.
Protect the body, man. I get it. You're trying to help the score, the final box score here, but with the game pretty much out of reach, health is so important all season. That ball thrown up by Sperry, not a good decision. It is picked off. And a turnover from Geyer.
And Kevin Sperry on that last quarterback run, you saw him get up and he's hobbled a little bit, and on that last throw, he's just not able to get his legs under him and plant and throw a dot to his wide receiver, and that ball floated on him a little bit.
Yeah, I do wonder if this game wasn't so out of reach and they're really just forced to throw that. He probably doesn't throw that football, and he's trying to make something happen, and it will show up as an interception on the box score. But for the most part, it's been a solid night for Kevin Sperry. Mentioned 4 touchdown passes, 250+ yards passing. But that turnover gives the ball back to North Crowley, and that is the sophomore running back Keontae Ingram getting some work here in garbage time.
A nice head of hair.
Yeah. Once again, we have a plague. It's an epidemic in Texas high school football. Helmets that don't want to stay on players' heads.
It completely drives me crazy.
I love those helmets, by the way. The 817
that's
with the blue chrome. Oh, those are sweet.
You know, it all started. South Oak Cliff got that started with the 214 golden domes.
Those were nice too.
Those are really nice.
You
know, that's repping your city, representing where you're from, and I love that is kind of leaked over here on this side to Funky Town, Goon City, as they call it. Yeah, a lot of pride being injected into the city as you see that number 2 offensive line come in, and the big fellas get to go and sit on the sideline and have some biscuits. And this has been a great showing from this offensive line. So many big names up there, a lot of stars up front for this North Crowley offensive line, and the guys that are going to get an opportunity to play at the next level.
Yeah, if there was any doubt or any concern that No Crow would be a no-show after beating Desoto last week, and I really didn't mean for all of that to rhyme.
It did.
If there was any concern for that, it was obliterated pretty early into this game. And we have just seen a complete performance by the Panthers tonight. I'm sure they'll want to, won't be perfect when they go through the film this week. And defensively, I'm sure they'll want to clean some things up with their coverage on deep balls and whatnot. But run defense was stout. Anything else about tonight's game that surprised you, or?
Well, you know what? I went back and I looked at the tape from Desoto, and Desoto has some really good wide receivers. Really good wide receivers. And the Booby Feasters of the world and guys in that matchup that had tremendous games, you know, they were still able to hold those guys at bay and win a matchup. And I'm just one of those guys as an analyst. I like playing the matchup game. How does a Decorian Moore fit against North Crowley? How does that defensive front with Ford at defensive end for Duncanville, how does he, you know, in the matchup versus John Turntine, you know that D block and that Duncanville defense, they're not going to allow Chris Jimerson Jr. to sit back and pick them apart. And so, you know, those are the kind of things that when I see this game, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to judge you against the opponents that you're going against. And even when I saw you last week against DeSoto, you got in a shootout with that team. I want to see them play the likes of a Duncanville and see how they complete against them, because you know teams with as much firepower as them, they still have the ability to score half 100 on you.
And here comes some more flags. Another give to Keontae Ingram at a nice little stiff arm on that play. Yeah, I mean, Duncanville versus North Crowley, that was a matchup we saw in the state semifinals last year. Duncanville won that game 52-10. I don't think it would be close to that same score should these two teams meet again this season.
Yeah, so
but Decorian Moore, I mean, he's the number one ranked recruiting prospect in the entire country, going to Oregon. We saw him last week. He was awesome. But then I watched Quentin Gibson tonight, and Geyer's good.
Yeah.
And Sauk was good Sauk's a good team that Duncanville faced last week. Quentin Gibson is up there, man. I know he might not be Decorian Moore type level, but
says who? I mean,
right? Like these are stars handed out by I don't know who, and you flip on the tape. I mean, the kid is doing everything. He almost had the one-handed grab. His lone blemish was probably the drop in the end zone that would have given him.
No, he's special. He's special.
4 receiving touchdowns.
No, he is special. But I tell you what else is special. This North Crowley, what they're building here in North Crowley, we'll get an opportunity to see it, Joan. They are on a collision course towards one another, and Coach Ray Gates wants to get that 52-10 loss, that taste of that loss out of his mouth. And man, this is a great showing, and they have been so warm in receiving us. You know, everybody knows who Jonah Javad is here at the stadium. Gotta love that. And I thought Mike Leslie was popular. No.
Oh, you didn't know?
Oh, I know. Trust me. I know for sure. Don't you tell me nothing.
Oh, Heckma Harrison. We got to get this back on the rails. That is the ball game here from Crowley ISD Stadium. Final score. The number 3 ranked North Crowley Panthers, 49. The number 17 ranked Denton Geyer Wildcats, 28. An emphatic victory for the Panthers. We'll take a quick break and wrap things up right after this.
WFAA Sports. To us, it's about so much more than a highlight, wins or losses. It's the heart that makes up the game. The triumph of human spirit, its agony and victory, diehards and day ones. It can divide or unify communities. We give you the stats but inspire you with the stories, the unpredictable, unforgettable, and incomparable. We bring it to you all because sports lives in all of us.
You need a team you can trust to prepare you for the day.
We are making sure that you have all the information you need.
Looking out for you.
So we do have the heat advisory and air quality alert in effect for today.
Bold reporting.
Reporting from Plano.
Red flag warning in place.
Dynamic coverage.
Live from Addison.
Original content.
We are staying on top of this story, of course. Be safe out there on the roads. It's going to be a great time.
I am up with Daybreak. What about you?
All right, back here at Crowley ISD Stadium. 49-28, the final score, North Crowley over Denton Geyer. Next up for the Wildcats, they begin district play at Flower Mound next Friday. North Crowley will go on the road at Rockwall, another non-district game next weekend for the Panthers. And then the following week, they begin district play at home against Mansfield Legacy. And so Geyer takes its first loss of the season. Wildcats drop to 2-1. North Crowley remains undefeated, 3-0, and that is now 23-0 for Ray Gates in the regular season as head coach of the North Crowley Panthers. An impressive run. I do wonder if that will, if that regular season loss will even happen this year. I'm not so sure after what they did to Desoto last week and they did here tonight against Denton Geyer. Heckma Harrison wrapping things up. Your one big takeaway from tonight's game.
These guys are for real. These guys are for real.
Yeah.
You better find a way to stop Quentin Gibson. And no matter what the mantra is, the motto is, trap games, Buster Douglas, Mike Tyson. You got to show up to the stadium versus these guys with your mind right. And if you stop one of them, don't get happy because they got 8 more guys that you're going to have to stop. This team is loaded. I think they have a component that Coach Ray Gates was probably waiting to get maybe in the playoffs, but he got it as an early Christmas gift. These guys believe. They believe in themselves, and look, Goon City, they're putting themselves on the map.
Goon City, Funky Town, the 817. A lot of Fort Worth pride was in the stadium tonight, and they are all going to go home happy with a victory. Friday night football, we are taking a bye week next week, no game, and then we are back on the 27th for Colleyville Heritage versus Argyle. Mike Leslie, our guy who's been on short paternity leave here, celebrating his newborn. He'll be back in the saddle for that. I've had a blast these last 2 weeks with y'all and with you, Heckma. Thanks for letting this guy get back in the broadcast booth. And I want to thank all of you for watching on WFAA Plus and the WFAA YouTube channel. Final thanks to our crew, Director Clay Marshall, photographers Graham Rayner and Cody Pryor, digital coordinators Pete Friedman and Zach Giannis. I'm Jonah Javad for Heckma Harrison. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.
We now